help you take control of your financial future. Don't let rising taxes catch you off guard. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 to claim your free resources. That's TAX to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Six o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News, Tuesday, January 21st. Our top story, the worst cold in years across southeast Wisconsin.
I'm Erik Bilstad. Executive orders now in effect.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Everything's looking great out on the roads right now, albeit very cold. But no delays and no incidents up on the board. That's your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today. Sunshine. Also a high of 3 degrees. Wind chills dipping to 30 below. Tonight, increasing clouds and a slow warming. We are, listen to this from meteorologist Tyler Moore today. Warming to 6 degrees.
There you go.
Overnight.
All right.
Right now we're at 9 below in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the worst of the deep freeze has arrived here in southeast Wisconsin. Extreme cold warning in effect through noon today. Wind chills 30 to 35 below. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Moore saying the cold hasn't reached these levels in years.
So far this morning at Milwaukee International, we've hit 9 below. That beats all the last several years for the coldest low temperature each year. Coldest since 2019 that we've seen these air temperatures drop this far. Believe it or not, though, we're not even close to the record low temperature this morning of 23 below, set back in 1888.
Temperatures this low, frostbite can occur at exposed skin in as little as 10 minutes.
Several schools and organizations and agencies closed today because of the cold weather. We have a full list of closures online at WTMJ.com.
Not just Wisconsin feeling the freeze this week. Winter storms stretching for the Rockies to the East Coast, creating tough conditions for tens of millions. ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
Wind chills in the Midwest this morning dropping to 45 below zero. But the big concern? Heavy snow and ice spreading across the deep south. Emergencies declared from Louisiana to Georgia. New Orleans preparing for something it hardly ever sees. 1 to 3 inches of snow. Airports in Houston closed. Thousands of flights canceled or delayed due to the storm.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up at 6:10.
Day one of the second President Trump administration, including a slew of executive actions, including pardons for about 1,500 of his supporters who stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. The first 2 January 6 defendants pardoned were released from jail on Monday night, identified as 2 brothers from Pennsylvania, arrested for assaulting law enforcement at the Capitol. ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
Among the pardoned, Julian Catter, sentenced to 16 years for assaulting officers using chemical spray on Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. Sicknick would die 1 day after the riot after suffering 2 strokes. His brother saying the pardons are a betrayal of decency, calling President Trump a poor excuse of a man.
Other executive actions included an attempt to end birthright citizenship, declaring a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border, and delaying enforcement of the TikTok ban for 75 days.
The Trump administration has vowed to make Chicago ground zero for raids and mass deportations of undocumented immigrants.
Illinois has the Trust Act, which generally prohibits local law enforcement from participating in immigration enforcement. So according to Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, a Democrat,
we're making sure that we put out guidance to law enforcement agencies throughout the state to make certain that they know what the Illinois law is with regards to civil and immigration enforcement.
Illinois' Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker has said he will do everything in his power to protect law-abiding, undocumented immigrants from being deported from the state. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
A prisoner swap between the U.S. and the Taliban.
The Taliban's foreign ministry revealed it secured the release of an Afghan jihadist and drug trafficker serving a life sentence in exchange for freeing 2 U.S. nationals. The family of Ryan Corbett, one of the Americans who had been detained by the Taliban since 2022, thanked both former President Biden and President Trump for brokering the deal that brought him home. Shannon Kingston, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up, more trouble ahead for Walgreens. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:04. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully Plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Stop in and load up on great everyday essentials at Fleet Farm Stock Up Sale, January 16th through the 29th. 40-pound bags of Morton Water Softener Salt are just $5.99. Superior hardwood fuel pellets are on sale for $5.49 a bag. And don't forget your backyard friends. 40-pound bags of black oil sunflower seed are just $14.99. Be sure to stock up on all your everyday favorites, all at the best prices, guaranteed, at Fleet Farm Stock Up Sale.
Feeling bullied by your bank?
It's not a hidden fee, it's a surprise fee. Surprise!
Like they're just making things harder.
That's not my department. I got a transfer.
Or like they don't even know you?
That sounds like a you problem.
At Wintrust, we take a different approach. Whether you need banking solutions, a new home, or help planning your financial future, we've got local experts ready to lend a hand.
Wintrust.
Start banking where you matter at wintrust.com/bully-free. Wintrust. Different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp. Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge of your seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:06.
Bit of reshuffling in the NFC North. One coach leaving and another rival gets a head coach. Those stories in sports at 6:15.
Border Patrol agent is dead after being shot along the U.S.-Canadian border Monday afternoon. This happened in Vermont.
Airport ambulance respond to Interstate 91 southbound stage north of the area.
It's audio from Broadcastify there. The agent's name hasn't been released. The FBI says a suspect was also shot and killed, while a second subject was wounded and is now in custody.
U.S. Justice Department accusing Walgreens of filling millions of prescriptions over the last decade and more without a legitimate purpose, including for dangerous amounts of opioids. ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
The lawsuit by the feds in Illinois also accuses Walgreens of systematically pressuring pharmacists to fill prescriptions without taking the time to confirm their validity, of violating the Federal Controlled Substances Act, and of seeking reimbursement from federal health care programs in violation of the False Claims Act. Walgreens denies the allegations and is asking the courts to clarify the responsibilities of pharmacies.
Walgreens has 8,000 pharmacies across the U.S., planning to close about 1,200 stores over the next 3 years.
More than 18,000 Costco workers could soon walk off the job. CBS's Chanel Call.
The Teamsters says 85% of its members voted in favor of a strike if there was no agreement on a new contract by January 31st. Workers are demanding better wages and benefits. Costco operates more than 600 warehouses across the U.S. and Puerto Rico. So far, the company has not responded to requests for comment.
In preparation for the strike, hundreds of Costco Teamsters nationwide organized practiced pickets.
Yeah, but can you still get that hot dog for $1.50?
Good question.
Right. 6:08 on Wisconsin's Morning News. This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
What are 3 things you can do during a frozen Wisconsin winter? Well, you can go skiing, or do some ice fishing, or you can take a tropical vacation with Mr. Holland's Home Services. No, despite the rumors, we're not adding a travel agency to our robust roster of services. But with Mr. Holland's help, you can enjoy a tropical getaway this winter without ever leaving your home. Bring the heat of the beach into your abode with our top-notch heating repair, replacement, and maintenance. Relax to the soothing sounds of gently cascading water provided by our prestigious plumbers. Bask in the warm glow of revitalizing light, courtesy of Mr. Holland's expert electricians. Heating, plumbing, and electric, or as we like to call it, the trifecta of tranquility. Escape to the tropics and rejuvenate your January with Mr. Holland's Home Services. 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Want to say aloha to Total Home Comfort? We can help.
Coming up on 6:10, let's get our first look at traffic here this morning. Deb, I predict a lot of abandoned vehicles, or disabled, as you call them. Right?
Yes. Right now, we just got
Cars
one.
just stopped working.
Yeah. Because
I quit.
Honestly, I was just about ready to do that myself when I got into my car.
You were going to stop working?
I was just going to stop working.
You're
I was
nice
going to
and warm
stop
now.
and sit
You're good.
there. No. No, I mean, this is pretty dangerous stuff. So if you are going to get out in your car and travel around and whatnot, make sure you got your safety kit with you, like an extra blanket and water and all that stuff. So just to make sure that everything is safe. But at this point, we don't really have anything to slow you down. So as you roll along, your car will warm up. But at this point, everything's looking good. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. An extreme cold warning continues this morning until noon today for wind chills close to 30 to 35 below zero this morning. High temperatures this afternoon will be in the single digits with sunny skies. Tonight, increasing clouds and a slow warm up. We'll see high temperatures on Wednesday climb into the 20s as we see a warm front approach. That will bring the chance for some scattered snow showers throughout the day. Thursday, we'll look at mostly sunny skies, high temperatures in the lower 20s, low to mid 20s for Friday with partly cloudy skies. Then for Saturday, mostly cloudy with high temperatures in the mid 30s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee right now at 9 below with a wind chill at minus 28.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here are your hosts, Vince Vitrano and Erik Bilstad.
Coming up on 6:12 on this Tuesday morning. So say you had a Florida vacation scheduled to escape the cold this week. Temperatures in Orlando will struggle to get into the mid-50s for much of the week. You ever had that happen to you, right? Oh, we're going to get to South. We're going to. Oh.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have.
Right? Yeah, your last one, right? Not terribly balmy.
Yeah, just like had to put my coat on and oof.
Not why you go to Florida ever. Well, we'd gladly take it here in Wisconsin.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
All of southeast Wisconsin under an extreme cold warning. That's new terminology this season for the National Weather Service. If you prefer, call it stupid cold.
It feels stupid cold.
Isn't it?
Miss, I am so cold.
Dangerously cold wind chills as low as 34 degrees below zero expected. What's the last number I gave you?
Minus
28?
26.
26.
At the moment.
26, 28, 30, whatever at this point, right? We begin to emerge from the hurt locker tonight, as you heard meteorologist Tyler Moore put it, overnight warming to 6 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Tomorrow's high back up to 24. Schools largely canceled, even colleges. You got UWM, METC, Marquette canceling classes today.
I think Madison's giving it a go, though. Why not? Just giving it a shot, see what happens.
And they got further to walk than MU,
Yes,
right? You could walk a mile and a half to class, too, even in Madison. As I mentioned, temperatures, even in the deep south, cold. Snow and ice, bracing for snow as far south as Austin, Texas. We're at the airport there.
We have not snow plows, but machinery that can go onto our trucks to make sure that we can plow away snow if necessary.
Like that. That's a spokeswoman for Austin Bergstrom International Airport. We don't really have like plows. And why would you?
Right, of course. I mean, when it's occasionally, maybe once a winter type of thing.
New Orleans could get up to 3 inches of snow, they're saying. They're kind of excited about it, some folks there. Like, hey, let's have a little bit of snow.
And it probably wouldn't stick around long, right?
You wouldn't think. More than 1,800 flights, though, already canceled for today. That'd be another dagger, right? You go to the airport because you're going to Cabo or wherever, and your flight's canceled because of snow somewhere in the southeast. Winter storm stretching from the Rockies all the way to the East Coast. But we're almost there.
Yeah, we'll get through it
today, and tomorrow we start with our relative warm-up.
The Iceman cometh.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here for Tri-County Contracting on this brutally freezing cold day. Stupid cold. I have peace of mind because I know the roof is going to hold. The roof is good to go thanks to Tri-County Contracting. Their worry-free roof tune-up. Chuck and the crew were on the roof, took care of things, made sure it was good to go. They found holes in some of my shingles that they replaced, holes that were from another contractor through their ladder up there. So that's been taken care of, and now I have peace of mind knowing that there isn't any water getting into some of these spots, freezing and popping things. So good to go. Thanks to Tri-County Contracting. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
And we have a winner, a national champion in college football. It's Ohio State beating Notre Dame 34-23. You know me, I'm a sucker for a hometown call. You want to hear the
how did we do?
The final call? I'll let you listen and you can decide. This is from the Ohio State Radio Network, Learfield Sports.
Leonard sails that middle of the field where it's caught by Greathouse. He's tackled at the 40. Tackled by Jordan Hancock, and Ohio State, national champions, beating Notre Dame tonight. 34-23, the 9th national championship in Ohio State history. A team that got into the playoffs, and they played angry and determined.
Okay.
And they give Ryan Day his first national championship.
I'm just so happy for Ohio State finally.
Long-suffering, the Ohio State University.
I'm so tired of those calls. They played angry because no one gave them any respect.
That's right.
You're Ohio State. Give me a break. I think everyone kind of thought they were going to win anyway. The head coach, Ryan Day, very happy.
My wife and kids, and then these guys. That's why I get up in the morning every day. It's just to try to make sure these guys reach their dreams and goals.
That's on ESPN there. Of course, there is always going to be the one but of their championship season. The but is they did not beat Michigan, which is always the biggest thing. So
failed season. I think they'll take it.
Anyway. I got some football news. You want some football news for the NFL? So the Chicago Bears have a new head coach, and he comes from the Lions. So Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson will come over. He's the new coach of the beloved Bears for the Chicago fans. And NFL.com reporting that the Lions defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, also highly sought after, is being interviewed by the Jets today. And according to the reports, New York really likes him. So they're going to try to lock him in today. So it's possible that the Lions will be looking for a new DC, a new OC. And, by the way, this is also good news for you, at least in the short term. It sounds like, at least at the moment, as of today, that your guy, Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator of the Packers, won't be going to at least the Jets as the coaching carousel continues.
I wish him well ultimately, not just yet.
Do you want him to stick around? Okay.
Give me 2 more in Green Bay.
Even
at least
the OC,
one.
even
right.
the Green Bay offensive coordinator has been talked to a little bit. So, got to be careful here.
We can absorb that more than we can absorb the loss of defensive coordinator because, LaFleur handles the offense largely, right? And he's calling the plays. So you can have our other guy. Give us half for at least one more season.
Okay.
Marquette may have a new athletic director. The AD Bill Scholl announced that he would be retiring as soon as a successor was chosen. ESPN reporting this morning an internal hire, Mike Broker. He has been with MU for nearly 20 years right now as deputy AD. No confirmation from Marquette this morning, but stay tuned. Marquette basketball out east tonight playing Seton Hall. That's a 7 p.m. tip. We've got the game at 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. And the Badgers are climbing in the polls, trying to make it 8 wins in a row. 19th in the USA Today coaches poll, 18th in the AP poll. Bucky is on the road to play UCLA at an 8:30 p.m. tip tonight. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
We get it. You're on the go. and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Vince Vitrano here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin E. You mentioned peace of mind with the roof. If you've got drafty old windows and doors, that's another place where you're going to feel it now with the weather dipping below zero for, in some cases, high temperatures. And if your windows and doors are not up to your standards, you're going to feel it, that draft coming in. You want inviting windows and doors that welcome friends and family into your cozy home. They look as beautiful on the outside as they feel on the inside. And right now, here's the deal. Going through the end of the month, 0% interest on your financing for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Certain restrictions do apply. You want to visit PellaWI.com to get in on that. And again, that deal good through January 31st. You don't have to have the work done by then, but you got to get Pella into your home and get that deal signed by January 31st to get in on 0% interest on your financing for up to 3 years. And don't forget, Gina Della's got a new show. It's right here on WTMJ. It's called What's the Difference? They're going to talk about, they'll talk about windows, but they're also going to talk about other things, business in general, being a boss in more ways than one. That's a new show. February 1st, you'll hear it every Saturday, 6:30 a.m. You can stream anytime at WTMJ.com.
If you're a woman looking to take control of your financial future, you are not alone. Women are leading the way in business and managing household finances, but challenges still exist. That's why NX Wealth Management presents the Women in Wealth series every third Thursday. It'll empower you with knowledge and resources to succeed. Join us for collaborative discussions, community building, and learn about key areas of financial planning. Women in Wealth events are free every third Thursday. Sign up at annexwealth.com/events and bring a friend.
At 6:21, let's check in on the roads. Hey, Deb.
All right, still a nice quiet ride around the area. We've got, of course, very cold conditions, so just make sure you warm up the car a little bit, not inside your garage. That should be without saying. But at this point, we're moving along pretty well. No delays and no major incidents out there. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
We have an extreme cold warning in effect. Wind chills of 35 below at times. So it says here frostbite in as little as 10 minutes.
I feel like that's generous.
Agreed.
Right?
All right, very cold today. High of 3.
Don't test it.
Wind chills down to 30 below. Tonight, more clouds. Slow warming, but it's not going to be much. A low of 0. Could get up to 6 degrees tonight. A wind chill of 20 below. Tomorrow, much better. Maybe an inch of snow and a high of 24. Right now, it's a 26 below wind chill and a temperature of -9 at 6:21.
Hard to imagine on this bitter cold morning, but it is time already, can you believe it, to start thinking of summer if you hope to send the kids to camp of any kind.
Good morning, campers. Welcome to Pinewood. This will be the most important summer of your lives.
See, I feel you trying to figure out where that's from. You're just a little bit younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're old enough, you know Michael J. Fox, Nancy McKee, and Poison Ivy.
Okay.
Summer camp.
All right. Nice deep cut there.
Yes.
Well done.
Anyway, cool opportunity to learn about the options for summer camp and get a head start on signing up. Bringing in friend of the program and founder of Milwaukee with Kids, MKEWithKids.com, Callie Herbst this morning. Morning, Callie.
Good morning. Yeah, I can't believe we're talking about this morning, but it's time. It really is that time of year. Like, I've already signed my kids up for one of their camps, like, back in October. It's crazy how early these things happen.
Is it because, like, have the openings for that started to shift? Like, I feel it's earlier and earlier all the time.
I know. I don't know. I think the camps set it based on demand or whatever their internal processes are. I think October is extra early, but right now, January, February, most camps are going to be opening up their registrations. What's nice about it, though, if you're thinking about it now, which we all are talking about it, you can get some early registration discounts sometimes, like early bird, discounts. So it's a good time to just start your research because you can get a couple of deals, I think, here and there.
So I like this event that you've got coming up. It's not this weekend, but next. It's called Camp Fair. And if I understand it right, you're going to have a number of these different camps available where people can get information and you can kind of shop around for what's right for your kids.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We did it last year. It's held at the University School of Milwaukee, Sunday, February 2nd from 10 to 2. It's free for families to come walk around. We'll have their gymnasium filled with 25 different camps to just because, you know, you go online, it's just overwhelming. There's so many camps, so many different interests. You know, parents are trying to manage schedules if they have multiple kids. It's just nice to have all the information in one place and to talk face to face with the people who are going to be with your kids and who are running the camps, and you can ask your questions. So we got a lot of positive feedback last year, and so we're doing it again this year.
And a lot of camps, Kelly, are different. It's not all the same. Sometimes when someone hears the word camp, they think tents and trees and going to the bathroom outside and stuff like that. Not every bathroom is, or not every bathroom, not every camp is the same.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so many different kinds of camps. And I mean, we have like coming to the camp, we've got like the Girl Scouts, we've got the Brewers, Milwaukee Ballet, First Stage, you know, for a theater camp. We've got Discovery World and UWM College for Kids. And I mean, it's just every interest that your kid might have, you'll find something there. And then you'll probably find some hidden gems too. Like there's some really cool science camps that come to the fair, that came to the fair last year, and they'll be here this year doing, you know, experiments. And it's just, you know, it's just nice to get to, because you really get a feel for the vibe of the camp and who's running it. And, you know, I think it's really useful.
Talking with Callie Herbst, founder of MilwaukeeWithKids.com, about summer camp. So I think of two places. You mentioned how overwhelming it can be when you start to think of the large number of camps that are available. I think of two places to start with your kids. One is what are they interested in? And then two, what kind of kid do you got? Do you got an overnight camp kid? Somebody who's ready to go away for a few days, maybe a week?
Every kid should be an overnight camp kid.
Or do you have a kid who maybe needs to ease on into it? You're talking a half day, maybe a day camp.
It's so true. And I think, you know, only parents are the ones who are going to know their kids the best. We're a camp family. My husband and I met at an overnight camp. And so our kids, like, we sort of, I mean, I don't know if it just happened genetically, but they definitely wanted to go to overnight camp and do well there. That's not every kid. You know, some kids are just whatever. They're just more shy and, you know, introverted, and even a half-day camp can be a lot. But the problem is during the summer, a lot of parents still need to work. And so, you know, you want to maintain your family routine. And so, you know, now's the time to start looking at a solution that's going to work for everyone. And I think a lot of these local rec programs offer, I think that might be one of the first places to start. What is the local rec department offering in your community? Because they often will offer like a school day kind of schedule, and it's pretty affordable. And it might be worth it to see if other parents have liked that program in your area.
Callie, please tell me your husband snuck over to girls' camp, like snuck over behind the counselor's back and talked to you.
It was a co-ed camp, so there was no sneaking around. Well, there was some sneaking around, but it wasn't
just enough.
But yeah, just enough.
Camp Fair is February 2nd at University School of Milwaukee. MKEWithKids.com for all the information. Thanks, Callie.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Make this the most memorable, rewarding summer of our lives. Let's go, campers. Let's go, Pinewood! Let's go, Pinewood! One more time!
News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average at 43,488. Markets were closed yesterday, so here's where we left things at the end of trading on Friday. NASDAQ at 19,630 and the S&P 500 at 5997. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
David Nason here, your trusted Fix-It Show guy, here to give you some essential home maintenance advice. If you're dealing with leaks, stains, cracks in your basement, it's time to call the experts I trust at Accurate Basement Repair. They've fixed many of our listeners' basements, and the results were fantastic. Dry, secure, and peace of mind restored. Don't let basement issues mess up your home. Trust Accurate Basement Repair to get the job done right. Call them today.
Thanks, David. Accurate Basement Repair. We're not just good, we're accurate.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal, to do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
6:30, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News, Tuesday, January 21st. Our top story, cold today, but better tomorrow.
I'm Erik Bilstad. A Wisconsin congressman responds to an arson fire.
I'm Debbie Laziga. We're looking good across the area. Very cold out there, but volume is relatively light, still moving along well. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Fleet Farm Storm Team alert extreme cold warning until noon today for all of southeast Wisconsin. Right now, the wind chill at 28 below.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump plans to meet today with the leaders of the House and Senate as Republicans now have full control of two branches of government. But the president spent his inauguration day flexing the full power of the executive branch, as ABC's Mary Bruce explains.
Granting a blanket pardon to virtually everyone charged or convicted for the January 6th attack and moving quickly to undo the agenda of his predecessor as Trump promises to usher in a golden age for the country.
He signed executive orders that declare an emergency at the southern border, that end birthright citizenship, and also pull the U.S. out of the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord. Almost 2,000 flights have been canceled today. Winter weather and extreme cold affecting tens of millions. There's also a blizzard warning in effect for parts of the Texas and Louisiana Gulf coasts. Meanwhile, dangerous conditions return to California as high winds resume. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, deep freeze reaching its deepest point across southeast Wisconsin. Right now, wind chills this morning hovering close to 30 degrees below zero. Right now at minus 26. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Morris says after today, relief is in sight.
There's a warm front off to our west. That is tracking our way. It'll bring the chance for some snow showers and warmer temperatures as we get into tomorrow. Before today, very cold, but very sunny. High temperatures will try to get on the positive side of zero. I think most of us hit 1-2 degrees at best for today.
For today, extreme cold warning in effect through noon. Wind chills near 30 to 35 degrees below zero.
Several schools and organizations are closed today due to the cold. You can get a complete list of those closures online at WTMJ.com.
City of Milwaukee Health Department upgrading its extreme cold health advisory to a health warning through noon today. Milwaukee County Department of Health and Human Services opening the Marcia P. Coggs Center as an emergency warming center, but it doesn't open until 8 this morning. We'll run until 5:30 tonight. Anybody who needs help finding a warm place to stay can call 211.
They're assessing the damage in Fond du Lac after Congressman Glenn Grothman's office caught fire. Police believe it was started on purpose, and it was arson. The suspect has admitted to police that he set the fire in retaliation to the U.S. ban on TikTok. Grothman tells NBC 26 the fire was a shock.
I can't think of any congressman who's had their office attacked for something like that, much less an attempt at arson.
Formal charges against the man have yet to be filed.
Brewers' new lease at American Family Field will keep the team in Milwaukee through 2050. The Vice President of Governmental Affairs for the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce Andrew Davis telling WTMJ the lease also funds renovations to make the ballpark a year-round venue.
I think they're really just trying to update the experience. I mean, you see ballparks across the country making these updates, and I think our ballpark is due. So this was all part of the plan while it came at the end, these additions to expand. But I think it'll be a great experience for the ballpark and for all fans going.
Davis predicts more concerts taking place at the field along with other sporting events, maybe indoor golf and wrestling.
Another piece of the Vince Lombardi-era Packers has died.
The public relations director isn't the most attractive front office position in football, but for a decade and a half from the late 60s to 1980, Chuck Lane held the task of handling the Green Bay press. The Minneapolis native was hired by Lombardi in 1966, developing a close relationship with the Hall of Fame coach and GM. Part of Lane's job description, hosting guests at Lombardi's famous 5 o'clock club at St. Norbert and at the team hotel Saturday nights before road games. Lane was 82 years old. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:34.
Traffic is sponsored by the residential and commercial electrical experts at Best Electric, bestelect.com.
Connect with Best Electric for panel upgrades, electrical vehicle charging installation, and residential electric service calls. Visit bestelect.com today.
Coming up, an AI controversy out of Hollywood.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. Put it simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:36.
Badgers rising and a possible new hire for Marquette. We've got it in sports at 6:45.
The Oscar nominations come out later this week, and there's controversy now over a likely Oscar contender.
Welcome to America.
The Brutalist director Brady Corbett and star Adrian Brody are under fire after the film's editor revealed they used AI to enhance Brody's accent in one scene.
There was a war on, and yet many of the sides of my projects had survived.
Corbett insists Brody's performance and his co-star Felicity Jones were completely their own. The editor, who is Hungarian, explained to Red Shark News it's one of the most difficult languages to learn to pronounce, and thanks to AI, not even locals will spot any difference in the movie. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
So The Brutalist has already won a couple of Golden Globes, Best Drama and an actor nod for Brody. I mean, he won a Globe a couple of weeks ago. And the interview from the video tech guy, he says, the editor, filmmakers used AI tools just to tweak their Hungarian dialogue to make it sound more authentic. It was used in a scene. And now some people are saying, well, wait a minute, that's using AI at all defeats the purpose of being an actor. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't have a problem with using it. And you don't even really have to tell anybody, except for if you want to be nominated for Best Actor or Best Actress,
Right?
I think you're out.
Yeah, right. When you
Right?
think.
If they've used AI to alter your acting, your
To
ability.
be or not to be, that is the question.
No, I think it's better than that, the technology. Right?
I don't. I mean,
Make it better however you want. Make whatever art you want.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Who cares? But does that disqualify you from an award? Because I mean, by the way, she says in that report that that's a very difficult language to pronounce or whatever. That's. I'm sure that's true with Hungarian. You know what else is very difficult? English. And a lot of foreign actors have honed their English over the many, many years. I'm just saying, like, and you wouldn't even know that they were English.
Who's the guy who played House? Remember that one, the doctor show?
Oh,
right?
Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie. Right. Didn't know for multiple seasons that the guy was British. Right? That
Yeah, I mean,
to exactly your point, like had perfect American
yeah,
accent.
to do the American accent, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Right. I guess you have to define what is acting. Now, okay, let me play the counter to that. I don't know if you have great special effects or if you have a stunt double, can you still be best actor, best actress?
Is a stunt double the same
I
thing?
don't know. Right.
The Black Swan, that was the I can't think of her name. She was in one of the Star Wars movies.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you. She actually there was controversy there because someone did a lot of her dance stuff for her, and there was question as to whether or not she should have won her Oscar because she didn't do all the dancing in the movie.
Okay, so now let's take this back down to the to the consumer level. Make great movies, and you all sort out the awards however you want, because
fair
doesn't
enough.
matter to any of us. 6:39 in Wisconsin's Morning News.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Outdoor Living Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Not so fun fact. Vince Vitrano here. A recent study showing only 40% of managers have annual check-ins with their direct reports. That's not good, especially when today's younger workers crave development and growth. The LAK Group can help. They have a new tool called Coaching on Demand. This cutting-edge platform connects leaders and professionals with certified coaches. And they seamlessly integrate AI into their development journeys, all on their schedule. You can learn more at transformingcareers.com. LAK, discover your human advantage.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. Just picked up a 2023 pre-owned with very low mileage Chevy Silverado 1500 LT, beautiful glacier blue. Love it. Looks fantastic. It's got a black cloth interior. Every time I get in this truck, I say, that is amazing. 8-speed automatic transmission. Awesome mileage MPG for a truck. 24 city. Get this, 29 highway. Towing capacity. Payload is big. All the things you love about Heiser. Here's what I love about Heiser. All the great programs. Whether you're talking a pre-owned or new. Safe and Sound program, right? Vehicle exchange program, right? Love it or exchange it. Valid on new or pre-owned vehicles, which is what I was talking about. Purchase or lease for the comfort of your own home. Roadside assistance for life. All the things you love about Heiser is all the reasons why they say every day and why I always tell people at Heiser Automotive, today's your day.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
At 6:42, what's going on the roads here, Deb?
Not too much. We are still looking at a pretty good ride shaping up. We've got a few broken down vehicles out there. Northbound 41, right around Burleigh. Got a couple of them there. One on the northbound, one on the southbound side. Another one right near the Hale interchange on the Rock Freeway. All out of traffic. So that, at least we got that going for us. And then we've got the rest of the system looking pretty good. I'm not really seeing any other delays. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. An extreme cold warning continues this morning until noon today for wind chills close to 30 to 35 below zero this morning. High temperatures this afternoon will be in the single digits with sunny skies. Tonight, increasing clouds and a slow warm up. We'll see high temperatures on Wednesday climb into the 20s as we see a warm front approach. That will bring the chance for some scattered snow showers throughout the day. Thursday, we'll look at mostly sunny skies, high temperatures in the lower 20s, low to mid 20s for Friday with partly cloudy skies. Then for Saturday, mostly cloudy with high temperatures in the mid 30s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, air temperature at 9 below, wind chills to minus 26.
On the first day back in office, President Trump signing an avalanche of executive orders and actions. I'm going to run through some of these. You ready? There's a bunch. There's a lot. In fact, there's so many you're not quite sure which should be the lead as far as these executive orders. Let's start with this. There are orders to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord. There are orders to freeze federal hiring and orders for return to the office mandates for federal workers. The freeze for federal hiring would not include the military. Requiring the government to recognize only two genders. Trump also declaring a national emergency at the southern border, signing an executive order that will end birthright citizenship. That's a constitutional right, by the way, that gives anyone American citizenship born on U.S. soil. So that one, they'd have to amend the Constitution to do that one. So I'm curious how that one moves forward. President also issued pardons for roughly 1,500 people imprisoned on January 6th related crimes. That's how it sounded outside one of the institutions, the jails in D.C. That was last night. He says it's time to release, he called them hostages, those who were in jail. Let's see, more hiring freezes. Then, of course, there is TikTok. What do you do with TikTok?
Essentially, with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it.
So President Trump signed an executive order to give social media platform TikTok a 75-day grace period from the ban that briefly took effect.
If I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
Yeah, so he floated this idea of maybe the U.S., an entity in the U.S. could get 50% stake in some type of TikTok deal.
Do you have more? I mean, do you have like 100 more?
Yeah, there were a lot more.
Right. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok.
Every rich person has called me.
So anyway, that's
I believe that.
That's
actually.
where that is right now, the TikTok situation. But there are a lot of legal questions in a lot of them. There's no legal basis for any kind of extension for TikTok, really. So there's going to be questions on that. There are questions on many of the other ones as well. But a slew of executive orders, and that was just a fraction of them that I shared with you.
Most executive orders issued by a president was?
FDR.
And not even close. Now, granted, he was in office for a few years. 3,700. I believe that's over the course of his presidency, but still, long way to go for this president. 646 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Now at Menards, save big money on everything for your next project. Transform everyday spaces into gathering places with custom craft countertops from Menards. Countertops are the center of the home, and we offer stylish options with durability that will last for years to come. Visit our kitchen showrooms in-store or go on Menards.com and get a free design estimate today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for many other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Use your legs, not your back. Avoid overexertion. Keep a wide stance and wear proper footwear with good traction. Just a few words of advice from my medical team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Vince Vitrano here. They're trying to keep you from getting hurt shoveling or slipping and sliding on the ice. Best thing you can do is prevent muscle sprains, strains, even fractures this winter season. Next best thing is to have any injuries treated right away by the experts in orthopedic care. You can make an appointment anytime online at orthowisconsin.com. But if it just happened or it happens on the weekend, no reason to tough it out and wait till Monday. Ortho Wisconsin's ASAP clinics have hours 7 days a week. You walk right in. Even fractures are not too big to handle. Both in Pewaukee and Brookfield, both locations have x-rays right there on site. Monday through Saturday in Pewaukee, Sunday through Friday in Brookfield. Walk right in. Or book that appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Well, a Big Ten team won. so
try to feel good about that this morning,
so
right? You're supposed to.
The Ohio State Buckeyes are your college football national champions.
It's Ohio State together at the mountaintop, champions of college football.
Yes, that's how it sounded on ESPN as they beat Notre Dame in a game that was never really close, although Notre Dame did give it kind of a run there near the end. The Buckeyes would win 34-23, so they are your winners. I'm just so happy for announcer Kirk Herbstreit, who played for Ohio State, getting emotional after the game.
You know, when I call these games, I'm incredibly objective, and I love all these Ohio State teams, but this team, because of what they went through, to get to this point, you're just happy.
Oh, okay,
You are.
I'm happy that you're happy, but it's Ohio State.
Right.
This isn't some Cinderella team who finally got the glass slipper on.
Seemed like a Notre Dame crowd in the house, too.
Yeah. It was nice to see a full crowd there, too, just everybody. Anyway, Ohio State goes on to win. They are your college football national champions. To the NFL. The Chicago Bears have a new head coach, and it's coming from the NFC North. The Lions offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, will become the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. He's kind of considered a pretty offensive guru guy. He had some success with the Lions the last couple of years, so the Bears went and got him.
Bears could use some guruing on offense.
Could use a lot of
little guruing.
Meanwhile, the Lions may be losing their defensive coordinator, too. Aaron Glenn is being interviewed by the Jets today, and the reports from the NFL and NFL.com are that, like, the Jets are going to try to not let him leave. They want him in the building there today, and they want to lock him up. So lots of changes are coming. And who knows? As of now, nothing to report on Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator of your Green Bay Packers, because I know you're a little worried that Hafley might go someplace.
What do you mean they're going to not let him leave? I don't know. We called the Uber an hour ago, guy. I don't know what to tell you. You're going to miss your flight, man. I don't know.
You might as well just put this Jets coat on.
Yeah,
hey, you look good in that green.
You know, we could look at some real estate if you like. Badgers at UCLA tonight. That's an 8:30 tip. In SoCal, climbing in the polls are the Badgers. 7 straight wins, 18 in the AP poll, 19 in the USA Today coaches poll. Badger women blown out by Nebraska Monday night, 91-60, the final in Lincoln. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets Milwaukee with another happy family custom designing a new closet space. My friends Katie and Dan who do more than just provide additional storage. Listen to this local mom. She was working with Inspired Closets on her daughter's room. Here's what they created. Custom drawers, built-in jewelry box, even were able to get rid of an old dresser. And best of all, here's what she wrote. They took our daughter's small closet and turned it into a little girl's dream come true. Family was so impressed, they've now done multiple projects with Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Closet, pantry, garage, any space in your house that needs to function better. It's one of those spots that gives you anxiety because it's always a mess. The stuff just piles up there. Katie and Dan and their team will listen to your needs. They'll work with you to custom design solutions. Inspired Days start at Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
The legendary music of Pink Floyd as you've never heard before. Live in concert with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Featuring conductor Brent Havens and vocalist Randy Jackson. Including a full rock band. Friday, February 7th at the Riverside Theater. Tickets on sale now at BabsTheaterGroup.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
At 6:52, what's happening on the roads, Deb?
Not too much. I'm not seeing really any delays. Volume's just starting to wake up a little bit. And a few broken down cars here and there. Out of traffic, though, all of them. So at least we're not slowing down because of that. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Fleet Farm storm team alerted an extreme cold warning in effect until noon today. Wind chills dipping down to 30 to 35 below. Very cold today. The high is 3. Tonight, more clouds. It's going to warm up a bit. A low of 0, but warming up to 6. A wind chill of 20 below tonight. Wednesday, scattered snow, maybe an inch, and a high of 24. The forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition.
At 6:53, bringing friend of the program, two-time Sports Writer of the Year for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Lori Nickel. Boy, Lori, I know you like winter sports. You ski, right? You cross-country ski?
Yeah.
Are you downhiller, or what do you?
Yeah, both of them.
Well, not this year.
No, and not last year, and not the year. I know. Let's just suffer. Let's just have all the cold and none of the fun and none of the pretty stuff. And I just love all the salt clouds. That's really awesome. Yeah, no. And you know what's great is complaining about the weather gets you absolutely nowhere. But I'm doing it, so here we go.
Well, I'll tell you, I know you work on yourself a lot. We've talked a lot about that. Eric and I, as I've admitted to you, are doing sort of a damp January. Like if we're at an event or something, okay, but we're largely trying to cut back. We've had varying degrees of success and results. I don't know.
So I think mine worked out. I went ice fishing this weekend with some buddies, so that was my damp part.
That was pretty damp, I imagine.
But otherwise, yeah, so I went 14 straight days, and then this past weekend, and now back to the dry part.
I keep waiting to feel awesome, and I haven't yet, Lori.
Right. No, you're supposed to be able to go 21 days without something to show whether or not you have a dependency on it. That's what all the Weight Watchers counselors told me. So, and I don't know what that's like. So that's my rule, too. I'm supposed to not have any sugar or sweets or Coca-Cola unless it's free. Like if it's at the Bucks game and they have it in the media thing, I can have it. But yeah, I feel awful. Actually, the more I diet, the worse I feel. So I'm with you guys. I just don't. Yesterday, I was so tired going to the chiropractor to feel well that I had to go and get a giant Coca-Cola through the drive-thru just to have the energy to get to the doctor. And it makes no sense. So I don't know. Good luck, guys.
No kidding. Hey, I know we talked about looking ahead to the speed skating championships that are going to be at the Pettit National Ice Center in the coming weeks. You mentioned the other day that you're working on a story about how we make ice. That caught my attention.
I know, right? Because don't we just do that naturally?
We should have plenty.
Apparently, we should have plenty. And apparently this really cold weather I thought would be really great for the Pettit. Not so much. Did you know that they heat the air in there to make it around 60 degrees, and then they cool the ice at the same time to make that around 16 degrees? And the reason they do that is because the skaters are fighting two sources of friction, air friction, which is I think about 65% of their battle, and then ice friction, which is the rest of it. And what was fascinating to me, I learned all kinds of things, and I promise I'll be more eloquent in the story than I will be with you right now. But apparently, if the air is too cold, you slow down. Apparently, like your gas mileage is worse in the winter because the air is cold. I did not know that. So everybody should stay home today and don't drive anywhere to save on gas. And then also, they don't just throw water down. They purify the water. They heat the water at the Pettit Ice Center to get rid of the impurities and the minerals, but they purify it so much that they have to add back in certain amount of minerals to make sure that it freezes smoothly. And it's a lot of work, and it's crazy, and it's an engineering marvel that we have here in Milwaukee that I'm sure we all take for granted. And apparently there's only 5 indoor ice ovals like this, Olympic size, in all of North America. So this place that I drive by all the time, and I think in the parking lot, they just set up the big Halloween costume show. Apparently behind that is like this incredible thing we have in Milwaukee. So there's a lot going into the preparations for the World Cup next week.
But when you think about like world records and champions will be crowned based on tenths or hundredths of a second difference, all of that little stuff matters.
It's so scientific, both that and engineering. And what's really cool is Rockwell volunteered to automate all of this. So Paul Golomsky, who's the general manager of the Pettit, he's managing all of this on his phone. So he cannot lose his phone that day, and he must have the battery charged because every 10 minutes, because plus when all the fans come in to watch, our breathing, our body temperature, we change the humidity of the building and everything. And the outside temperature affects it too. So we're hoping for 20 to 30 degrees that day outside to help affect the humidity levels and the carbon dioxide and all that. So it's really cool. It's so sciencey. I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when I write the story, and you're going to love it.
I know we will. 6:58. Thanks, Lori. On Wisconsin Morning News.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Herb Cole died over a year ago, but his foundation lives on, increasing giving this year to $15 million. Herb Cole Charities doubles down on its commitment to education while boosting other community initiatives. Wausau Sign Company Graphic House acquires Poblocki Sign Company's intellectual property, work in progress, and equipment out of receivership. Graphic House targets a Milwaukee area office by summer. In West Allis, developers prepare to start redevelopment of the former Crawdaddy's site at 64th and Greenfield. $7 million project includes townhomes, apartments, and a cafe. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite game, Response in Wisconsin. Guess the most popular responses from Wisconsinites. Okay, here we go. What's your least favorite thing about winter in Wisconsin? Gina Della from Pella.
Let me guess. Frozen toes? Oh, I know. Driving alongside bumper cars every time it snows. And then scrambling to find someone to watch your kids because they're school clothes. Yay! Let's face it, this is just the time of the year when we just want to all be warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Pella Windows and Doors is the best choice to make your home just right. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years.
Thanks for playing Response in Wisconsin.
Hurry! You only have until January 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
7:01. I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tuesday, January 21st, our top story. A lot of sun, no heat today in southeast Wisconsin.
I'm Erik Bilstad. Executive orders aplenty.
I'm Debbie Laziga. We're looking good on the roads as far as any kind of delays are concerned. Bunch of broken down vehicles all over the place, but they're all out of traffic right now. Just something to keep in mind as you're driving around in this cold. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team Alert. Extreme cold warning in effect through noon today. Wind chills nearing 30 to 35 below zero. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Morris says the cold hasn't reached these levels in years.
So far this morning at Milwaukee International, we've hit 9 below. That beats all the last several years for the coldest low temperature each year. Coldest since 2019 that we've seen these air temperatures drop this far. Believe it or not, though, we're not even close to the record low temperature this morning of 23 below, set back in 1888.
And today's high temperature predicted to be 3 degrees. Right now, the wind chill at 30 below.
Of course, lots of closures for schools and other organizations. You can find a complete list of those closures online at WTMJ.com.
City of Milwaukee has issued a formal health warning due to the extreme cold.
Those wind chills significantly increase the risk for frostbite and hypothermia. Frostbite symptoms include redness or pain, numbness, or waxy feeling skin. Signs of hypothermia include shivering, confusion, fumbling hands, slurred speech, and memory loss. The Marsha P. Coggs building is open as an emergency warming center from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Other warming centers in the Milwaukee area include Repairers of the Breach, Guest House, Capuchin Community Services at St. Ben's, Joy House, and Safe Harbor. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
It's not just southeast Wisconsin feeling the impact of the bitter cold. The southern freeze is also set in with unprecedented blizzard warnings in the Texas and Louisiana Gulf Coast.
Nationwide, more than 2,000 airline flights have been canceled, leaving passengers like Sylvia and Noah at Houston's Bush Intercontinental Airport scrambling to change their tickets.
At first they wanted to charge us, and then we called back and we was like the weather, so then they changed it for free.
Elsewhere, shelters have been set up for those with no place to escape the cold.
People need to know that there's people out there that care about them, no matter, what situation they may be in.
Shantae Allen is volunteering at a warming center in East Texas. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
In the hours after taking the oath of office on Monday, President Trump signed more than 200 executive orders and actions. They include withdrawing the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord and World Health Organization, declaring an emergency at the southern border, and pardoning more than 1,500 people involved in the riots at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Here's ABC News Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
We are in a whole new era. Donald Trump declaring his inauguration Liberation Day and immediately getting to work with a remarkable show of the use of executive power, granting a blanket pardon to virtually everyone charged or convicted for the January 6th attack, and moving quickly to undo the agenda of his predecessor as Trump promises to usher in a golden age for the country.
The White House is vowing now to make Chicago ground zero for raids and mass deportations of undocumented immigrants.
Illinois has the Trust Act, which generally prohibits local law enforcement from participating in immigration enforcement. So according to Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, a Democrat,
we're making sure that we put out guidance to law enforcement agencies throughout the state to make certain that they know what the Illinois law is with regards to civil and immigration enforcement.
Illinois' Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker has said he will do everything in his power to protect law-abiding undocumented immigrants from being deported from the state. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
Coming up, Southern California still on fire. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:05.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
America's Best installer of America's Best replacement windows does not have the word windows in their name. Their name is Siding. Siding Unlimited. Hey, the Sons took Dad's siding business and ran with it. Siding Unlimited, the family-owned Wisconsin company, keeps climbing to the top of Pella Windows of Pella, Iowa's awards. Siding Unlimited, one of only 5 Pella Premier installers in the whole country. But better than that, the top. For 4 of the past 5 years, Pella has honored Siding Unlimited as their National Certified Contractor of the Year. You want windows? Pay Wisconsin prices with this great local company, delivering National Championship Award-winning service. Great craftsmanship, clean up behind, and leave the job better than before and better than expected. You know, the company with Wisconsin family values. Pride in integrity, pride in people, pride in Wisconsin. SidingUnlimited.com.
This is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. I'm reaching out with a message that's close to my heart. Devastating fires have ravaged the Los Angeles area, leaving families displaced, homes destroyed, and the community in need of help. Right now, you have the power to make a real difference. Your donation, big or small, can provide food, shelter, supplies, and much-needed support for those affected by the fires. If you are able to, please help those affected by the California wildfires and donate at www.lafoodbank.org/fire.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:08.
Bears have themselves a new head coach. We'll do it in sports at 7:15.
A prisoner swap between the U.S. and Afghanistan's Taliban has freed 2 Americans.
The Taliban's foreign ministry confirmed the swap, saying 2 U.S. citizens had been exchanged for Khan Mohammed, who was imprisoned for life in California on drug and terrorism charges. The family of Ryan Corbett, held by the Taliban since August 2022, confirmed he'd been released. The name of the other American was not officially disclosed last night. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
A U.S. Border Patrol agent is dead after that person was shot along the U.S.-Canadian border. It happened Monday afternoon in Vermont.
Respond to Interstate 91 southbound.
Authorities radio captured by Broadcastify. The agent's name not released. The FBI says a suspect was also fatally shot, while a second subject was wounded and is in custody. How everything went down is still under investigation.
First responders making slow progress on those wildfires in Southern California. The Palisades fire now 60% contained, but been dealing with some strong winds again through the day today. The former Vice President Kamala Harris is now back in L.A., home after departing Washington. She says she's grateful her house remains standing.
We were under a mandatory evacuation, and it was lifted, and just a couple days ago, we're able to go back. Los Angeles is going to continue to be what Los Angeles is, a place that is strong and knows how to rebuild.
So there will be a concert benefits for wildfire victims being planned now. The Fire Aid concert in L.A. will include Stevie Wonder, Lady Gaga, Sting, Billie Eilish, Alanis Morissette, Pink, The Red Hots, Dave Matthews, etc., etc. That show's going to take place January 30th at 2 L.A. venues, and that's going to be live streamed for all.
Coming up, the surprise President Trump found waiting for him in the Oval Office. That story next.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Erik Bilstad. As we ring in 2025, are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? It's time to make a resolution, to get moving again. No more achy joints for your knees, your hips, shoulders, or your back. You're going to call QC Kinetics in 2025, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. Got locations in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee are living life again without the constant pain in their joints. Here's what you do. Resolve to get lasting relief in 2025. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today. Happy New Year.
7-Eleven, what's happening on the roads, Debbie?
Well, build up in volume, but really everybody's moving along pretty well. We've got disabled vehicles pretty much all over the place, though. Cars off on the side of the road. Nothing blocking traffic at the moment, so at least we got that going for us. Just make sure if you go out, just make sure you have your safety stuff in your car, because if you do break down, you want to make sure you can stay warm. So blankets, water, stuff like that. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. An extreme cold warning continues this morning until noon today for wind chills close to 30 to 35 below zero this morning. High temperatures this afternoon will be in the single digits with sunny skies. Tonight, increasing clouds and a slow warm-up. We'll see high temperatures on Wednesday climb into the 20s as we see a warm front approach. That will bring the chance for some scattered snow showers throughout the day. Thursday, we'll look at mostly sunny skies, high temperatures in the lower 20s, low to mid 20s for Friday with partly cloudy skies. Then for Saturday, mostly cloudy with high temperatures in the mid 30s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, Milwaukee air temp at 9 below, wind chill dipping to 26 below zero.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here are your hosts, Vince Vitrano and Erik Bilstad.
The Oval Office looking different now in the White House. We told you earlier about the slew of executive orders that were signed by now President Trump. Wall Street Journal has all the photos of what the new Oval Office looks like. It now includes, Vince, a portrait of Benjamin Franklin and a fresh painting of Andrew Jackson. Just like 4 years ago, there's a portrait of George Washington hanging over the fireplace, and that one is flanked by paintings of Alexander Hamilton, country's first Treasury Secretary, and Thomas Jefferson. A bust of Winston Churchill is back where it was during the first Trump presidency. And there's a new silver eagle over the mantle. Plus,
the valet button for President Trump to order up Diet Cokes is in place again on his desk and ready to go.
Thank you, Debbie Rodriguez there from CBS News. So a little button you can press and say, Coke me, and then they give them...
It's just for Coke, or can it be like for other things?
We'll find
also,
out.
right?
And then there's this, you know how that every president will leave a letter for the next president? The outgoing president will leave a note on the Resolute desk for the new president to read. We've heard it and seen them over the years. It's usually advice, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, it's a tradition, and usually it's not by name, right? It's from 46 to 47.
Yeah,
right.
So Peter Ducey from Fox, while the president is signing documents in the Oval Office, asks him about this. All the reporters were all there, a giant scrum there in the Oval Office. Listen to this.
President Trump, did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. What?
So now he's like, hold on.
Don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know.
He opens the door.
What's in there?
Thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we found it.
So he holds up a little card.
Thank you.
What does it say on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that determination. Peter, thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
You could have been there. He never would have seen the thing had they not asked him about it.
And he's done this before.
Yeah, I don't know if he left one 4 years ago.
Obama didn't leave him a letter? Yes, of course he did.
No,
right?
I don't know if he left one to Biden.
I thought he did.
Was there a 45 to 46? I don't know. I have to look into that. But yeah, just pulled it out there and decided not to open it. It was close, though. It looked like he was about to open the envelope.
In fairness, it's not like that middle drawer is full of pens and pencils and stuff like at your house, right?
Right. Yeah, no, it's just empty desk.
I mean, maybe it is. It is a desk. You do the work there.
It's a stapler.
and a box of staples and a box of paper clips, which you never use.
A couple of big pens.
You got to have that, though. 7:15, sports up next. It's sponsored by Holiday Automotive at Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip.
Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, where the New Year's sale is on. Hey, is there a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC in your future? Connect with Holiday and find one that's right for you. Stack it with their low, simplified price, get more for your trade, then pair it all up with the season's best offers. Ready to take the roads this winter with confidence. Another great option. Check out a GM-certified pre-owned model. Enjoy the peace of mind benefits like 2 factory-backed warranties, scheduled maintenance, courtesy transportation, and roadside assistance all included. Driving a GM-certified vehicle from Holiday is a no-brainer. I know you'll appreciate Team Holiday's welcoming, friendly, and genuine guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over. Fans like me and thousands of others who drive Holiday, Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper-Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
And the winners of the College Football National Championship is Ohio State. The Buckeyes beat Notre Dame 34-23 in Atlanta. It really wasn't close. Notre Dame kind of made it close at one point near the end of the game, but Not really. You want to hear the final call? The Ohio State Learfield Sports final
way
call.
over the top.
Here we go.
Leonard sails that middle of the field where it's caught by Greathouse. He's tackled at the 40. Tackled by Jordan Hancock, and Ohio State, national champions, beating Notre Dame tonight. 34-23, the 9th national championship in Ohio State history. A team that got into the playoffs, and they played angry and determined. And they give Ryan Day his first national championship.
Okay, yeah.
That was not over the top.
We'd have
It wasn't even at the top. Like, you won the whole thing, man.
It's kind of boring.
A little something.
Yeah, a little juice. Actually, I did listen to the Notre Dame call. That one was actually a little bit more interesting, and they lost. Anyway, Ohio State are your national champions in college football. To the NFL, the Chicago Bears have a new head coach. ESPN and others reporting that it's going to be Ben Johnson, who is the Lions offensive coordinator. He was kind of the one a lot of teams were going after because the Lions had such a kind of a fun, unique, progressive offense. So now he will be in the Windy City. And meanwhile, the Lions also look like they might lose their defensive coordinator too. Aaron Glenn, who is also highly sought after, is being interviewed by the Jets today. And according to NFL Network, NFL.com, they don't want him to leave. Like, they're going to bring him in and try to keep them there. At least that's what everyone is being told. The Jets are going to try to lock the doors and keep him in there. So
it'd be great if the Lions collapse from underneath themselves, right?
It would also be helpful for you because you're really concerned that the Packers cannot survive without defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley.
Well, we can survive. I just would rather spend at least another season in Green Bay helping get that defense in order.
So Haf has been kind of making some of the rounds, including in New York. So as of now, nothing to report on any Packers coordinators going anywhere else.
Badgers climbing in the polls, trying to make it 8 wins in a row tonight. 19th in the USA Today Coaches poll, 18th in the AP poll. Bucky on the road to play UCLA. That's an 8:30 tip tonight in Southern California. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
So close you can smell the rubber on their shoes. Okay, maybe not that close, but as close as you can get. Bucks Insiders on Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
The long wait has ended after a half century. The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions once again.
It's Bucks Insiders every Thursday at 12:35. Sponsored by Best Electric and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Vince Vitrano here for Johnson & Sons Paving. Boy, this weather is going to be brutal on your pavement, asphalt or concrete. You want to make sure that things aren't getting worse. Potholes, cracked curbs, drainage issues. If they're bad now, they are going to get worse this winter. So get ready for spring by calling Johnson & Sons Paving to get it fixed. First step is scheduling that free, no-obligation quote. Johnson & Sons will send a team out to walk through your property. They'll be able to see signs of asphalt pavement that needs work. They can spot fatigue cracking, standing water, warping and buckling, sinking pavement, and more. You don't want to scare away potential customers or tenants with bad curb appeal at your business or your residential facility. Book now and you save money later. It's johnsonsonspaving.com.
As winter takes a deep freeze, it's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with deals you won't find anywhere else. Save on last-minute all-inclusive vacations with Apple Vacations or get up to 67% off public cruise rates with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises. Is Europe on your mind? Ask about Fox Group Vacations. Book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO.
Time's ticking on Heiser's Drive Into 2025 sales event. The clock is literally running out on remaining 2024 models. We're making room for new rides, which means huge savings just for you. Shop online or race in today and get a new vehicle for way less than expected. With low payments, special financing, and immediate delivery, you'll start 2025 in style without breaking the bank. But hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. Visit Heiser.com now for all of the details and get ready to roll into the new year with a celebratory deal.
See dealer for complete details.
Traffic update here at 721. Debbie.
All right, I'm seeing about 7 different broken on the area, and they're growing. So, luckily, they're all out of traffic, so I'm not really seeing any delays with this. Volume's picking up a bit, but nothing slowing down just yet. Just be extra careful. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
At 7:22 on this Tuesday morning. Fleet Farm Storm Team alert. It's extreme cold warning set to go until noon today. It's not like we warm up a whole lot after that as we bring in Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Man, some weather stuff is fun. I know you enjoy it. You enjoy the science of it and the predicting.
Yes.
Like, there's no fun in this, man.
There isn't. Me personally.
Like the big snowstorm,
exactly
okay, but this is just ugly.
Yeah, I could get jazzed up for like a blizzard or something.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Nothing really gets me going here with minus 30 wind chills or anything. But there are a few out there. I mean, I'll tell you, like on Facebook or wherever, there'll be the person who, you know, when I'll post like, please, like, make sure you bundle up. It's minus 35. Oh, it's beautiful outside. Oh, yeah. I'm like, okay. No.
It can't be accurate.
You can't possibly think that you like this stuff. I don't know.
So we talk about today, Niz. It looks like really, I mean, this cold, extreme cold warning expires at noon, but we really don't warm up much through the day. Is that just the winds die down a little bit?
Yeah, winds die down. Actual temperature should get, you know, briefly maybe above zero. I mean, right now we're sitting at -9 in Milwaukee. I saw like Waukesha, West Bend, Lake Geneva, Whitewater -13. Fond du Lac, I'm looking right now, -14. So yeah, I mean, the actual temperatures too, brutally cold. So once those numbers start to get closer to zero, then the wind chills shouldn't be as bad. But we're talking still like -20s, just not the -30 stuff that we're seeing this morning.
It seems like we always have one of these a year at least, right?
Yeah.
Just one winter, and then once we get through it, we're done, or not. I guess we don't know for sure, but.
Sure. Yeah, we have a ways to go.
Eric's on to spring already this morning.
No, I just meant
right
30,
around the corner.
Talking about the 30 below stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we got a lot more winter to go. We can get a snap like this in February, no doubt. Yeah, last year at this time a year ago, actually, I would say, I think it was like the 18th, 19th, 20th, I remember right. We had a very equally similar cold snap. You know, temperatures this cold, wind chills this cold, and then we warmed up. But once we warm up, we're talking about a warm up into the 20s, but you know how that goes too, where 20s are going to feel a lot better than the 20s that we had on the front end of this thing.
Interesting, too, is we were talking about snow in the southeast today. We had this lady on from the airport in Austin saying, we don't really have plows. We got some stuff that we can put on the equipment that we have to sort of move it around, but that could be trouble across the southeast.
Totally. And when you're talking Austin, like, that's different than Dallas. Like, Dallas can get its little brushes with winter. But when the stuff starts getting down to, like, Austin and Houston, eventually New Orleans, I think there's even winter storm warnings, if I'm not correct, for northern Florida, like the Panhandle and stuff with this thing. Those are communities that they don't know how to handle any of that. So they're talking about a few inches of snow. I find it interesting every time one of these out of the ordinary snaps happen, and I see like a winter storm warning for like northern Florida. I go and I see what their thresholds are because it's very interesting. They don't play by the same rules. So their winter storm warning could be 1 inch of snow. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like it's a totally different ball game for them. But nonetheless, yeah, this cold snap has stretched across much of the country.
And we shouldn't dip quite this low tomorrow. So obviously, you're not dictating schools and all that kind of stuff, but it would indicate that perhaps schools could get back in session tomorrow.
School's back on tomorrow. I feel pretty good about that. Now watch all of a sudden.
We'll stick with the declaration. But you're right,
no,
right?
I think we're back on. I mean, it's still going to be cold, but it's
Right.
not going to be at the threshold that they should be canceling school for tomorrow. I do find that also interesting because there was a change. You know, we went from the wind chill warning to the extreme cold warning that we talked about a lot. And I was wondering if the school districts were going to hold true that usually when that is issued, they'll cancel school for cold, and they stuck to it. The extreme cold warning, really no change there, even though the threshold changed by 5 degrees. So we went from a -30 threshold, or -35 to -30. So slightly better chances of, no school days when we get these cold snaps.
What are we doing in the Niznansky house today with the girls home? You got some special activities planned?
Last night it turned into fondue night. Like I was like,
all right.
School's canceled, and we had always been wanting and talking about doing that. It's just, it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's like you're cheeses and all sauces and
Mhm,
everything.
yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. It's the night. There's no homework's not there's no homework to be done. There's nothing. Activities are canceled. So we did that today. I don't know. We got to line up an agenda, but I'll whip them into shape. There's going to be reading time. There's going to be some video game time. They're starting to get to the age, I want to watch this show. Some of this crap on YouTube is terrible. It's like, I'm like, no, we're not watching this kid's family do things that we could do ourselves. You know what I mean? They'd rather watch.
Liz, you're officially an old man.
Yeah, hey.
Welcome.
Good luck when they get to TikTok, my friend. Don't whine to me.
Hopefully it'll be officially gone by then. I don't know. We'll see.
No, don't worry. It's been saved. All right.
Okay.
Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky live with us this morning. Thanks, Nids.
Yep, see you guys later.
So the markets were closed. News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets were closed due to the Martin Luther King holiday on Monday. Here's where we left things at the end of trading last week. 43,488 is where the Dow closed on Friday. The NASDAQ at 19,630. S&P 500 at 59.97. You were saying some of the futures up today.
Futures
so we'll
look good at the moment.
Open on Wall Street a little over an hour from now. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today, Jeff Salazinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, hard to believe we're only weeks away from the new year. A lot of folks come up with resolutions for 2025, fitness, financial, career goals. You have a message for folks today as it relates to goal setting in the new year.
I do, Vince. Thank you. If you're looking for a career change in 2025, and want to find an organization that provides financial security, has a tremendous culture, and surrounds you with all you need to succeed, you should sit down and talk to R&R Insurance. Whether you're experienced in sales or just interested in a sales career, we have growth opportunities for you.
Jeff, we've not talked about careers at R&R before. Tell us a little more.
Vince, we invest heavily in our new sales teams, guaranteeing a base salary while they're building their client base. We know that it takes time to build a sales pipeline, so guaranteeing a base salary provides you with financial security. In addition to training, you get licensed and we provide you with experienced sales management to assist with referrals and sales meetings. Our leadership is committed to your success and has invested heavily in resources to get you there, and there's no ceiling to your earning potential.
Sounds like an opportunity that folks would like a closer look at.
Sure, Vince, and plus, our benefit package is incredibly generous. It includes profit sharing, 401k with matching contributions, and the best part is you have a chance to build a long-term relationship with your clients and become a trusted business advisor to them.
So if this sounds good to someone, how do they learn more?
I'd be happy to connect with them, Vince. They can call R&R Insurance main number 262-574-7000 and just ask for Jeff Salasinski. Or even easier, just ask for Jeff from the radio.
I like that. Once again, the number is 262-574-7000. Call R&R Insurance. Ask for Jeff from the radio. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump's first significant show of executive power, pardoning or commuting the sentences of over 1,500 people in connection with the January 6th riot. ABC's chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl says it was an extensive order.
They went even beyond what the advocates for those prisoners, those people in prison for attacking the Capitol, expected. Every single person, including those that attacked police officers with flagpoles, baseball bats, 2x4s.
Other day one executive orders included declaring an emergency at the southern border and pulling the U.S. out of the World Health Organization. A rare sight in parts of the South, snow. Areas of the region under blizzard warnings for the first time ever. Both of Houston's major airports closed. Nearly 2,000 flights canceled nationwide. Severe winds continuing today in Southern California, increasing the risk of high fire danger. This is ABC News.
Lots of broken down vehicles around the entire area. I got about 10 or 11 broken down vehicles out there. They're luckily out of traffic, so I'm not really seeing any kind of delays with those. Just something to keep in mind if you're going to be heading out. That's what you're facing. Your poor car is going to deal with the cold. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm Team forecast for today. A high of just 3 degrees, and we'll struggle to get there. and we got a long way to go. A lot of sunshine with wind chills dipping to 30 below. Right now we're at 9 below in Milwaukee, and the wind chill at minus 26. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alert as we have an extreme cold warning in effect until noon today. Deep freeze reaching its deepest points across southeast Wisconsin. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Moore says after today, relief is in sight.
There's a warm front off to our west. That is tracking our way. It'll bring the chance for some snow showers and warmer temperatures as we get into tomorrow. Before today, very cold, but very sunny. High temperatures will try to get on the positive side of 0. I think most of us hit 1, 2 degrees at best for today.
For today, extreme cold warning, as I said, in effect till noon, and your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up at 7:40.
We do have school closures and organizations that are not going to be in service today. You can find a full list of closures online at WTMJ.com. The City of Milwaukee Health Department is upgrading the extreme cold health advisory to a health warning through noon. And the Milwaukee County Department of Health and Human Services is opening the Marcia P. Coggs building as an emergency warming center. That opens at 8 and will run until 5:30.
A 19-year-old from Menasha is in police custody, says he admitted to starting a fire at Congressman Glenn Grothman's Fond du Lac office building early Sunday morning. Congressman Grothman, talking with NBC 26 News in Green Bay, said the suspect has had no prior contact with his office.
I think when somebody does something like this, they are the type of person looking for attention. And I think this person, if it wasn't the TikTok issue that caused him to light fire in my office, he would have found some other issue.
In 2022, Grothman was among other Republican lawmakers asking Governor Tony Evers to ban the app's use on government devices in Wisconsin. Police have not yet named the suspect nor requested formal charges.
Improving skills on the court with the little help from the Milwaukee Bucks.
That was the goal for 60 participants with Wisconsin's Special Olympics Monday night at the Freighter and Medical College of Wisconsin Sports Science Center. Special Olympics player Bobby Kuski tells WTMJ what he likes about playing basketball.
Dribbling, shooting, and just the teamwork and friendship, I'd say, are the best things.
Former Bucks player Fred Roberts was there as well to give athletes a few pointers on how to improve their skills and to have fun.
Even as an adult, if I can go shoot a couple of shots on a professional court, that's a thrill.
Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
Another person prominent during the Vince Lombardi Packers era has died.
The public relations director isn't the most attractive front office position in football, but for a decade and a half from the late 60s to 1980, Chuck Lane held the task of handling the Green Bay press. The Minneapolis native was hired by Lombardi in 1966, developing a close relationship with the Hall of Fame coach and GM. Part of Lane's job description, hosting guests at Lombardi's famous 5 o'clock club at St. Norbert and at the team hotel Saturday nights before road games. Lane was 82 years old. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:35.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Restaurant prices are soaring, but not at the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here, one of my favorite places, family-owned for almost 50 years. I took my daughters there. Great memories. It's super affordable, and it's so much fun. Every Tuesday, the authentic Mexican buffet is all you can eat, and it's just $9.99. It's the best Tuesday dining value, $9.99. Kids 5 and under eat free today from that kids menu. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. Stop today after school. Check this out. The Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry is just $7.99. Whoa! That's crazy. From 2 till 5 today, beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh, right near EAA. Walk in today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. MineShaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Slipping on the ice?
Ugh.
Someone else shoveling your driveway.
Ah.
Cold feet?
Ugh.
Toasty tootsies.
Ah.
Waking up to a cold house?
Ugh.
With no warm air coming from the register.
Ugh.
And discovering your antiquated furnace is DOA.
Ugh.
But now, this is you learning that Mr. Holland's Home Services can install a new, fully warranted, highly efficient comfort system.
Ah.
Better yet, you can enjoy consistent, cozy comfort comfort with payments as low as $79 a month with approved credit. Because you deserve it. If your failing furnace is showing signs of old age, be proactive. Call Mr. Holland's Home Services to schedule the installation of your brand new, fully functional comfort system for a low monthly rate. And take your winter from to 866-992-1717. Or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Ready to put some thaw in your We can help.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:37.
New interesting story that we just had on the passing of Chuck Lane of the Lombardi-era Packers, hired at the time by Lombardi to be, I guess, I don't know what his technical title was, public relations director. Must have been novel at the time, right? Early 1960s.
Wasn't a lot of them back then?
Well, to have someone who handles, the media inquiries and whatever, like these were clubs coming up, right?
Sure.
And so
Yeah,
probably was, on the front end of that, which is now a team of 10 million people there at 1265 Lombardi.
And at every other professional
right,
sports.
Yes, right. So now you have a whole bunch of people. I first started covering the Packers in the mid-90s when I was at St. Norbert, and then later at WFRV TV, Channel 5 Eyewitness News in Green Bay. Lee Remmel was that guy. And he was a longtime sports writer, and then became, I guess, he was technically public relations director or whatever, when they used to before they divided it out between marketing and media relations and all these whatever. And what I remember most about Lee was he was the guy that wrapped up the news conference with the coach. All right, so when Mike Holmgren would get up at the podium, and particularly when it was a salty day, and the reporters are asking questions and Holmgren's not having it and whatever, and then you'd reach even the slightest moment of pause before the next question, and Lee's job was to say, "That about do it? Thanks, Coach." Holmgren was at the door. That was the most important function of Lee Remmel, then PR director for the Pack. That do it? Thanks, everybody. Let's get him out of here.
See ya.
7:39 on Wisconsin's Morning News. News sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk. That's heard Saturdays at 10. Right here on WTMJ.
It was bound to happen. Over your career, investments came along for the ride. The first 401k, brokerage account, profit sharing, employee stock options, pension, another 401k, an insurance policy, an annuity, another 401k. You get the picture. Years went by, the collection grew. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. After all, we've seen, reviewed, dissected, discussed, and analyzed thousands of them. Some portfolios are like well-tended gardens and reflect diligence, patience, fortitude, and optimism. Others tell the story being sold commission products that might not have been the best choice, maybe for the salesperson, but not for the investor. When the financial planning team at Annex reviews your portfolio, we spot what works and what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions based on what's important. The retirement you desire. That's where the good stuff happens. That's our story. Every portfolio tells the story. Let's work on yours. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button. That's AnnexWealth.com.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
At 7:41, a lot of disabled vehicles this morning in the cold, Deb.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty out there right now. We've got about 10 or 11, make that 12 different broken down vehicles around the area. Luckily, they are all out of traffic. I'm really not seeing any delays per se with that, so they're all out of traffic. And just want to get out there and stay warm because at this point, I don't want to break down my car. I know that for sure. So make sure you have like extra blankets and stuff like that in your car. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. An extreme cold warning continues this morning until noon today for wind chills close to 30 to 35 below zero this morning. High temperatures this afternoon will be in the single digits with sunny skies. Tonight, increasing clouds and a slow warm up. We'll see high temperatures on Wednesday climb into the 20s as we see a warm front approach. That will bring the chance for some scattered snow showers throughout the day. Thursday, we'll look at mostly sunny skies, high temperatures in the lower 20s, low to mid 20s for Friday with partly cloudy skies. Then for Saturday, mostly cloudy with high temperatures in the mid 30s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, Milwaukee at 9 degrees below zero.
Supporters chanting, supporters asking for those who are behind bars for the January 6 attacks of the U.S. Capitol, celebrating when President Trump announced that he was pardoning all of them.
The full, complete, and unconditional pardons include the former leader of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, sentenced to 22 years for sedition. Trump also commuting the sentences of 14 others charged with sedition, including Stuart Rhodes, founder of the Oath Keepers militia, sentenced to 18 years.
All in all, more than 1,500 people who attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6 were pardoned. There were a lot of pardons, a whole slew, more than 200 executive orders also signed into existence, I guess, or activated, if you will. So those include mobilizing the military along the southern border, also curtailing birthright citizenship. So that's an interesting one because that one would indicate anyone who's born in the U.S. would not be an automatic citizen of America. That's a constitutional thing. So there'll be some pushback on that one. ABC's Mary Bruce says, we're just getting started.
This is just the start for Trump. His team has been planning these moves for years, and this flurry of executive actions is intended in part to overwhelm opposition, but we are already seeing some legal challenges, including against his move to end birthright citizenship.
Other orders would include removing the U.S. from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord, freezing federal hiring except for the military, requiring the government to recognize only two genders, also sending all federal workers back to work. Back to the office, no more working from home, among the 200 executive orders.
Was the Gulf of America in the executive orders, or was that just mentioned in the speech?
That was announced, the Gulf of America, so that would replace Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
Not sure how that would work.
Who gets to decide that?
And then, would all maps from now on just be changed?
Right. But again,
who decides
that? Yeah. Does the map maker decide?
Yeah.
Or
and is that just a distraction?
Right. And does it really matter? I think back to the birthright citizenship question, and you can probably apply this to a number of these executive orders or actions, is it a matter of interpretation of what is in the Constitution? Will he endeavor to find constitutional scholars that might say, well, what the founders meant was, right, versus trying to amend the Constitution and change it that way. And you could probably look at a number of these orders as, are they extra constitutional, or is it a matter of how you interpret it? We'll see how all of those play out.
He's also giving TikTok a 75-day grace period from their ban that took place on Sunday.
And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that.
Some musical overtures have become more famous than the operas and ballets they introduced. This week on the Lutheran Hour, Dr. Leo Sanchez says John the Baptist is like an overture to Jesus, but John doesn't claim the spotlight for himself. Dr. Sanchez tells how John became the living voice sent by God to prepare the world for Jesus' lordship and salvation. This week on the Lutheran Hour.
Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
Oh, my God.
The Soties.
Thanks for the pretzel, Coach.
No Corona! All right, maybe we do some bits.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting.
time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
It's over. Ohio State puts college football to rest for the year, winning the national championship, beating Notre Dame 34-23.
It's Ohio State together at the mountaintop, champions of college football.
So there you have it. Chris Fowler with the call there on ESPN. It really wasn't much of a game. Notre Dame kind of clawed back.
Charged out of the gates first, right?
Notre Dame clawed back and made it kind of close, but it never really
Didn't feel
seemed that
close.
way, right? Ryan Day, the head coach, with the big win.
My wife and kids, and then these guys. That's why I get up in the morning every day. It's just to try to make sure these guys reach their dreams and goals.
And that was a big win for them. So Big Ten wins it, I guess. But the big question or the big criticism of Ohio State will always be for this year, well, you just didn't beat Michigan, though. Couldn't beat those Wolverines. To the NFL, the Chicago Bears hire a new head coach, and it comes from within the division, NFC North. The Lions offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, is now the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, supposed to sign that deal today. Meanwhile, NFL.com reporting that the Lions defensive coordinator, also highly sought after, Aaron Glenn, is being interviewed by the Jets today, and apparently New York really likes him, and there's an anticipation they're not going to let him leave today. They're going to Katie bar the door after he walks inside.
I still don't understand that they're not going to let him leave.
How about we just throw
not taking no for an answer?
How about we throw another pile of million at you?
Right.
How about a little bit more? Hey, anyway, so if he does that, then okay, Dan Campbell, Detroit's going to be in a little bit of a transition period there, and I guess that would be good news for Packers fans, at least for now. No word to suggest that a defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is going anywhere.
When you also like the Lions losing their top two guys underneath the head coach, right? You lose your D coordinator and your O coordinator in the same season. That's like there's some rebuilding that has to occur.
Yes, that's an adjustment. Doesn't mean they're going to be terrible next year, but there's an adjustment there.
Marquette on the road, Seton Hall tonight, 7 p.m. tip. Homer and Tony Smith on the call, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. ESPN reporting this morning that MU is promoting longtime Deputy Athletic Director Mike Broker to the big chair. Broker has been at Marquette since 2003, would replace the AD Bill Scholl, who is retiring. Badgers at UCLA tonight. That's an 8:30 tip in SoCal. Badger women blown out by Nebraska Monday night, 91-60, the final in Lincoln. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray, frigid days on the horizon where we all just want to be snugly and warm at home. And Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. But hurry up, you only have until January 31st, so visit PellaWI.com today. Certain restrictions do apply.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Should I delay my Social Security benefits, or should I start taking them right away? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Your decision can impact your income for the rest of your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help you create a strategy to maximize your benefits so you can make the most of what you've earned. Social Security is just one stop on your retirement-ready roadmap. Take the first step today. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free retirement toolkit and get a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Don't leave money on the table. Text SS to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
7:51. How's traffic, Deb?
Well, traffic's rolling along pretty well. Whether or not your car is, that's another story. We got about 10 different broken down vehicles around the area, so that's giving you an idea what we got. But I'm not seeing really any delays, even in our normal heavy spots like around Capitol Drive or near the Hale interchange. Everything's rolling along pretty well. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Yes, it's a Fleet Farm Storm Team alert until noon today. An extreme cold warning Wind chills dipping down to 30 to 35 below. Frostbite in as little as 10 minutes, according to the forecast. A high of just 3 again with those 30 to 35 below wind chills. For tonight, 0 is your low. It's warming up to 6, though, with wind chills still below 0. Wednesday, scattered snow, maybe an inch. Breezy, warmer. The high is 24. Right now, the wind chill, minus 29 at 7:52.
Idea Man.
Jordan Love is the guy. First off, even if you don't want him to be the guy, he is the guy.
That's true. Innovator.
That does not mean Jordan Love doesn't need to get a lot better. He needs to be a lot more consistent.
And Packers Hall of Famer.
I just think Jordan Love is a good quarterback that is going through the process of trying to become great.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Fellow Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
At 7:52 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tausch, I'm feeling good today because I like hearing that the Lions could lose. Well, they did lose their offensive coordinator. He's going to go be the head coach at the Bears. And then their defensive coordinator apparently is top choice for the Jets, which A, means our guy Jeff Hafley won't end up there. Eric is reporting that the Jets are claiming they're not going to let the guy leave campus today without a deal.
So here's what Ian Rappaport is saying, Tausch,
No, you
from
tell
NFL
me the report.
So here's what Ian is saying. A monumental day. Top target Aaron Glenn visits the Jets, and the goal is to keep him from leaving the building.
What, he canceled the U? I called the guy an hour ago. I don't know. He's not here. Why don't you come back in? It's cold out there. Come back in and wait for a second.
I remember, if you guys recall, and I don't know what you were doing in 2006, but Mike McCarthy Brad Childress was up with Minnesota Vikings, and the Packers wanted to interview him. And the Vikings said no. They wouldn't let him get out of the building. And it turns out, I think, for most Packer fans, that ended up being great because if he comes down, you never know how that chain of events change. And the same thing goes here. I think from a Bears standpoint, everybody thought that Ben Johnson, he's talking to Tom Brady. Tom Brady won't even bring his name up on the broadcast because, the Raiders are going to get him. And then, where do the Bears go? You lock in and you get your guy. You're excited about it. And from a Packer fan standpoint, there is no doubt. Listen, Detroit is stacked. They have been a thorn in our side for the last 3 seasons, and a big part of that is Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell's a really good head coach. I'm not sure how much of this offense and this defense, he's a leader of men, all of those cliches, but Ben Johnson is what turned Jared Goff around. He is what has kind of gotten that offense rolling. And then if you take Aaron Glenn out of it, there is going to be an adjustment that is at play that is only going to benefit the Green Bay Packers. That doesn't mean we're going to jump over Detroit because of it, but it certainly will make it that much more difficult for Detroit to try and stay consistent if you're losing, they call it the brain drain, where so many of your coordinators leave because you've had success.
How do you keep someone from leaving the building? Is it really just about money? Do they just say, okay, how about we throw another million? Okay, how about another million?
Yeah, I think money always talks, but I think in this case, you don't go to the building if you're not semi-interested, and then there's ways. I think money will be the top thing, and I think with Ben Johnson, I think that's what happened. There's reports he got up to 13 or 14 million per, which for a first-time NFL head coach is very high. That gets you there, and then it's all of the other things that kind of get, who's running the personnel? How much of a say am I going to have? How meddlesome are you going to be as an owner? Are you going to stay the heck away? You get that vibe, and then the money is the closer. That's the Mariano Rivera of, all right, here we go. Let's get this thing done.
How do you feel about the national championship, Tausch? The Ohio State University ends up claiming it. You know what's
sick.
Interesting? Yeah.
I feel sick. I don't know about you guys. College football is broken. Yeah. I think college sports is. And the fact that Ohio State spent the most, they L.A. Dodgered college football. I love the fact that the Big Ten has 2 national championships in the last 2 years, and we can shut up the SEC folks. But I hate the fact that it's Ohio State. There's no program that I just don't like probably as much as the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think this was a kind of what is wrong with college football is on high display last night. Notre Dame battled and competed, But there's a lot of things that I think college football has to take a long, hard look at. I'll be curious what the numbers from that game come in at, because it was a long, drawn-out postseason that I think needs to end a lot closer to New Year's Day than to Inauguration Day.
You're right. I think the first game of the college postseason was New Year's Eve. We've been at this for weeks.
Yeah. I feel like it was even earlier than that,
Was it?
Eric.
Oh, wow.
I think it was probably the week before Christmas. It's just too long. It's too long, and plus, I don't like. I don't know about you guys. The Michigan people are trying to take credit for another national championship because they beat Ohio State,
Right.
which, I don't know if I can get on board with that transitive property.
They'd trade in a
if
second.
anything can limit. Yeah, if anything can limit the people in Ohio of celebrating Ohio State, I'm on board with it.
Here's the problem. All that said, we got 3 football games left. We got 2 championship games in the Super Bowl, and then we're done for a long time.
Enjoy it. Well, you got a Pro Bowl games where you can watch some.
Like I said, we got 3
some
football
stuff,
games
but yeah, I think last weekend was the best, and then obviously the championship games coming up. But yeah, it always is a little sad when you see the inventory of NFL games dwindling down to 0.
Thanks, Tausch. Top of the hour news just ahead.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Perfect day on the ice, huh, Pat? Ice auger, fishing rod, portable generator, and that genius pizza oven. Pepperoni's ready.
For frozen lakes, toasty crusts, and everything in between, we've got the value you need to do things your way. Like $60 off a Milwaukee Drill Driver Combo Kit. And select Nutrichomps dog chews, buy one, get one half price. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
8 a.m. I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tuesday, January 21st. Our top story, this bite of bitter cold across southeast Wisconsin.
I'm Erik. Bilstad, blizzard warnings on the Gulf Coast.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we are looking at cold conditions, but not really slow conditions, other than your car breaking down, which we hope that doesn't happen. We've got over 10 broken down vehicles around the area. Luckily, they're all out of traffic, so it's not going to slow you down, but just gives you an idea what you're dealing with. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High of 3 degrees today, and that's if we get there. As Nancy said, we might only get to 1 or 2. Not that at that point it matters. With wind chills at 30 below, and right now we're at -9 from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. This WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team Alert. Extreme cold warning in effect through noon today. Wind chills nearing 30 to 35 below zero. Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist, the aforementioned Brian Niznansky, telling Wisconsin's Morning News, not just the wind chills.
The actual temperatures, too, brutally cold. So once those numbers start to get closer to zero, then the wind chills shouldn't be as bad. But we're talking still minus 20s, just not the minus 30 stuff that we're seeing this morning.
Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Moore giving us some historical perspective.
So far this morning at Milwaukee International, we've hit 9 below. That beats all the last several years for the coldest low temperature each year. Coldest since 2019 that we've seen these air temperatures drop this far. Believe it or not, though, we're not even close to the record low temperature this morning of 23 below, set back in 1888.
The city of Milwaukee now issuing a formal health warning because of the cold.
Those wind chills significantly increase the risk for frostbite and hypothermia. Frostbite symptoms include redness or pain, numbness, or waxy feeling skin. Signs of hypothermia include shivering, confusion, fumbling hands, slurred speech, and memory loss. The Marsha P. Coggs building is open as an emergency warming center from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Other warming centers in the Milwaukee area include Repairers of the Breach, Guest House, Capuchin Community Services at St. Ben's, Joy House, and Safe Harbor. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
In the south, you've got a freeze setting in with unprecedented blizzard warnings in the Texas and Louisiana coasts.
Nationwide, more than 2,000 airline flights have been canceled, leaving passengers like Sylvia and Noah at Houston's Bush Intercontinental Airport scrambling to change their tickets.
At first they wanted to charge us, and then we called back and we was like the weather, so then they changed it for free.
Elsewhere, shelters have been set up for those with no place to escape the cold.
People need to know that there's people out there that care about them, no matter, what situation they may be in.
Shantae Allen is volunteering at a warming center in East Texas. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
President Trump has signed dozens of executive orders during his first hours in office, including commuting or pardoning more than 1,500 people convicted of offenses at or near the U.S. Capitol on January 6. ABC's Pierre Thomas.
All of these suspects, those still in prison, likely will be released immediately. Family members of injured police are expressing outrage. The brother of one of the officers who died of natural causes after a confrontation with the mob called the pardons a betrayal of decency. One key question, how will the law enforcement community respond to a president that many of them see as pro-police?
One of those convicted for assaulting officers was Riley Casper from Pulaski, Wisconsin. He remains in custody inside a federal prison outside of Detroit as of this morning.
Justice Department accusing Walgreens of filling millions of prescriptions in the last decade and more without a legitimate purpose, including those for dangerous amounts of opioids. ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
The lawsuit by the feds in Illinois also accuses Walgreens of systematically pressuring pharmacists to fill prescriptions without taking the time to confirm their validity, of violating the Federal Controlled Substances Act, and of seeking reimbursement from federal health care programs in violation of the False Claims Act. Walgreens denies the allegations and is asking the courts to clarify the responsibilities of pharmacies.
So it's more on the pharmacist than the doctor who's writing the prescription?
I think that's exactly what Walgreens is saying there in their statement. Like, what is our responsibility here? We get the prescription from the doctor. Somebody comes in, we give them the prescription, unless they're saying there are safeguards, there are double checks that should be performed.
We've also heard the stories of pharmacists refusing to fill prescriptions, and that they've been criticized for doing that because that wasn't their job to fill or not to fill.
Right. And if they've set that precedent, though, of we're going to review all of these, does that open them up to this? Nonetheless, Walgreens has more than 8,000 pharmacies across the U.S. We have reported on plans that they have to close about 1,200 stores over the next 3 years.
Coming up, it was 5 years ago when this historic first took place in the U.S.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:05.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
The Fox
Fox and Hound Supper Club in New Bertus is hiring bussers, food expos, and food runners. This is a great job for high school students. You'll make real money and always busy. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids and start next week. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 8:06.
Don't lose sight of this. This is still happening. First responders are making slow progress on the wildfires in Southern California. Palisades fire, they say, now 60% contained, but powerful winds expected to continue through today.
Meanwhile, a concert benefit for wildfire victims is being planned. It's going to be called the Fire Aid Concert in Los Angeles. It's going to include Stevie Wonder, Lady Gaga, Sting, Billie Eilish, Alanis Morissette, et cetera, Pink.
Why don't you tell me who's
Red
not going to be there?
Everyone's going to be there. So it's going to be at 2 LA venues on January 30th. We've seen stuff like this happen before. It'll be live streamed. So it's a way to raise money and to help those affected.
More than 18,000 Costco workers could walk off the job next month. Chanel Call from CBS News.
The Teamsters says 85% of its members voted in favor of a strike if there was no agreement on a new contract by January 31st. Workers are demanding better wages and benefits. Costco operates more than 600 warehouses across the U.S. and Puerto Rico. So far, the company has not responded to requests for comment.
In preparation for the strike last week, hundreds of Costco Teamsters nationwide organized practice pickets.
5 years ago this week, the first COVID case was reported on U.S. soil.
The first COVID case in the U.S. was in Washington State.
The man is in his 30s and in good condition at a hospital outside of Seattle.
The man had been to Wuhan, China, where the coronavirus outbreak began. When the first case in the U.S. was discovered, the CDC activated its Emergency Operations Center. In the years since, more than 1 million Americans have died from the virus, 7 million worldwide. Vaccines have helped slow the spread and the severity of COVID, but doctors say it's here to stay. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
You know, interesting to note, I mean, one of the executive orders that President Trump signed in his first moments in office on Monday was this withdrawal, U.S. withdrawing from the World Health Organization. And it was the COVID experience that caused the now president to become skeptical of that organization. If you recall, during the first days of COVID, WHO was trying to get into China. China's a member of it. Right? Trying to get it, saying to China, we need to get a team in there. We need to help. We need, this could get out of hand. And China was refusing. And the WHO just basically allowed that to happen. Continued to publish China's BS numbers that they were putting out. For the longest time, remember, China was reporting fewer COVID cases than the state of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And WHO just allowed that to continue to happen. So to his point of what level of effectiveness does the WHO have if they're going to allow this sort of thing to happen? Now, that was one instance and one other thing. WHO does a lot of other important stuff in terms of coordinating should we have another global pandemic. But that's the side of the coin that Trump is looking at when he decided to issue that executive order, among many others, on that first day in office. 8:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Lola.
When I was new, I come in and sit down, and people join me. And you get to know people, talk about feeling welcome. Art classes first early in the morning. Right now, I'm also involved in being a production assistant with a theater group. Every month, they have a supper club with a different theme. First one that I went to, they had a luau. I am so lucky to have ended up in this place, and I think it's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Stop in and load up on great everyday essentials at Fleet Farm Stock-Up Sale, January 16th through the 29th. 40-pound bags of Morton Water Softener Salt are just $5.99. Superior hardwood fuel pellets are on sale for $5.49 a bag. And don't forget your backyard friends. 40-pound bags of black oil sunflower seed are just $14.99. Be sure to stock up on all your everyday favorites, all at the best prices, guaranteed, at Fleet Farm Stock-Up Sale.
You know who's feeling nice, warm, and cozy today? The mice living in your house. Boy, are they glad they found a way in the fall. Man. Hey, no kidding. They search for even the smallest spots. Rodents can squeeze into your home, and they've got that nice warm spot now for the winter to grow their little family, and that is no good. Vince Vitrano for the Bug Man and Queen Bee. If you think you've got a problem, you got a problem. Get them out to your home or your business for a full rodent inspection. And then, if they find any, a plan to, take care of the problem if they're already inside. And here's the deal right now from Bugman Queen Bee. 20% off your first service, or 25% off 2 services in that first appointment. If you want to do critters and say you do bugs as well at the same time, the best in local pest defense. Local family veteran-owned company. 262-633-3411. BugmanQueenBee.com.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
8:12 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Debbie, as we predicted before the morning rush, broken down vehicles all over the place. Cars just quitting on folks.
Yep. And I would too if I was the car.
You're quitting too?
Because check please. It's not pretty as far as that's concerned. What is okay is the fact that these are all out of traffic and not really causing problems on the road. I'm not seeing really any delays out there right now. I think part of that has to do with all these schools and everything being closed and stuff because of the cold. So I think that's kind of helping out with that. Unfortunately, we got folks having to deal with getting their cars towed and stuff like that. So just be careful. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today, high of just 3 degrees if we even get there. This hasn't budged. We are still at 9 degrees below zero with a wind chill at minus 26.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here are your hosts, Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Just grab your radio and curl on up. Find a nice warm spot, get that blanket going. We're with you today. A lot of folks staying home today. Maybe a work from home day for the office.
Could be, yeah.
If you have that available to you. School's off everywhere. Tomorrow's high temperature soaring to 24 degrees. Got to get through today. We begin the relative warm up overnight with temperatures rising to 6 degrees tonight.
We're going to cook something warm, and I'm very excited about the snow because I would love my grandkids to get the opportunity to experience snow and make snow angels.
Now, hang on. We're not expecting snow around here. That is a woman, wait for it, in New Orleans. New Orleans, Louisiana. Could get up to 3 inches of snow in a winter storm that is stretching from the Rockies all the way to the East Coast across the southern U.S. Snow and ice as far south as Austin, Texas.
We have not snow plows, but machinery that can go onto our trucks to make sure that we can plow away snow if necessary.
I love that. That's a spokeswoman for Austin Bergstrom International Airport. We don't really have snow plows per se.
Like, why would they?
We've got trucks and stuff. We can hook some stuff up and sort of push it around a little
like
bit.
The half of a silo? Like, what are they going to put on there to push anything?
More than 1,800 flights already canceled today. And again, that's due to that weather in the southeast. Orlando, Florida this week, they don't see 60s again until Sunday.
Happening today.
Back here at home in southeast Wisconsin, this extreme cold warning. That is new terminology this season for the National Weather Service. But if you prefer, we could just call it stupid cold for our purposes, right?
That's fine.
Extreme cold warning means wind chills dipping to 30 below. Used to be wind chill advisory at 35 below or more for the wind chills. And we might touch that. Haven't seen that just yet this morning. The coldest wind chill I saw was minus 28. Oh, it's been closer to minus 26 the last hour or so. So we're already on the vast warm-up.
It's getting a little bit better.
Schools largely canceled, even colleges. You got UWM, MATC, Marquette canceling classes today.
Madison's going through it, though. They said, hey, no, we're going to give it a shot.
which I think is interesting. Of the campuses, Marquette a lot tighter, even UWM, you're not walking quite as much unless you're one of those dorms that's sort of on the outskirts of what you would consider campus.
And there's people who live 20 minutes off of campus.
Easy, right? As I mentioned, temperatures even in the deep south, cold, snow and ice there, bracing for snow as far south as Austin, Texas. Other areas that have affected Mississippi, Gulf Coast, the panhandle of Florida, expecting some possible snow today.
We do get back to normal kind of tomorrow as far as our workflow, though, goes. We had Brian Niznansky on, Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist, about an hour ago, and he said that we will be back tomorrow because we asked about school.
School's back on tomorrow. I feel pretty good about that. Now watch all of a sudden.
Yeah, right.
No, but he's pretty confident that given the numbers that school would be back.
Well, because the threshold has generally been, and every school district can set its own standards, but you sense some level of coordination. They sort of like to be on the same page. And I get that. Our kids are in Greendale, and I know Greendale belongs to this sort of collective of superintendents who kind of huddle around
chat
these
together.
storm events or cold events or whatever of what are we doing? Because you don't like to have, and some families might even have kids in different districts with choice. So you don't like to have Franklin having school and Oak Creek's like, no, we got no problem here. So they kind of like to be on the same page. But that threshold had always been the wind chill advisory.
Right.
Now the extreme cold warning. Sorry, the threshold was the wind chill warning.
And I wonder, too, like my Mazda has a hard time getting started. I can't imagine just assuming that all 40 buses in the fleet are going to fire up without a problem.
That's a good point.
They got to think about that, too.
Not just the kids at the bus stop waiting on the bus, but then if you have a bus problem, right, now the kids that are normally out there 10 minutes are out there for a half hour till you figure it out.
If you're not getting them started,
so
who knows?
I guess. They build these days into the school year, as parents know, so it's not like, well, we're getting away with not having school. But you probably will now not have that one day or whatever in late spring that they sort of leave there. Well, if we didn't use up our days.
Right.
So careful what you wish for, right? Didn't you say your oldest has exams?
Yeah,
today?
they're in some kind of exam schedule this week at the high school, and he was kind of put off a little bit. He's like, it's going to mess up the schedule, but he'll get over it.
Yeah, school activities, and some schools do it different. Some will still allow the activities in the afternoon and evening. Others have basketball games and such canceled. It's a Tuesday, right? So you got a lot of basketball, boys and girls, other events. So that can gum things up. Each one of those when you're a high school kid is super special. Every game, every event, right? So
or sometimes they're fine with it.
Or you could be just fine with it. Curl up with a good book or your radio this morning.
The Iceman cometh.
8:19 and the morning drive. But for the disabled vehicles, Deb, we don't have a lot of crashes or anything to report.
No, and no crashes, and knock wood, and no delays either. So at this point, everybody's rolling along just fine, unless your car breaks down. So be prepared for that just in case. Extra blankets and things that'll keep you warm, and maybe a snack or two, nice warm coffee, that kind of thing. The rest of the system is actually looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano. John Mercure here. Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Recognize my voice? Get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. Yes, this cold weather just chills you to the bone. In some cases, it just feels absolutely awful for your joint pain, your knees or your hips. Your shoulders just out in this weather. Are you kidding me? Well, now's the time to make the decision to say no. You're not going to do it any longer. Yes, you'll still deal with the cold, but you don't have to deal with the joint pain. Call QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. They're right here in Greenfield. Got another location in Mequon, and they can take care of you, revitalizing your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics today. Here's the phone number. 414-285-3474. It's 414-285-3474. And that just sets up an appointment. Just call them and see if you want to go meet. You can even meet on a Saturday. Just chat for an hour to figure out if this is something that works for you. They'll walk you through the process. Call QC Kinetics today. 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
President Trump will be at the National Cathedral today for a service, day 2 of his second term in office. Wasted no time on Monday signing a wide range of executive orders impacting both foreign and domestic policy. Rescinded dozens of Biden-era executive actions and then took steps on a lot of other things, too. So he signed an avalanche of orders. So here's what we got. He is withdrawing the U.S. from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord. Other orders will freeze federal hiring, except for the military, and require the government to recognize only 2 genders. Another order requires all federal workers to go back to work in the office. Office work only, because there's some that are not doing that. Trump also declaring a national emergency at the southern border. Signing an executive order that will end birthright citizenship. Now, that's the constitutional right giving American citizenship to anyone who's born on U.S. soil. So a little bit more on that. Like, Trump would technically have to amend the Constitution to do it.
Over 130 years ago, the United States Supreme Court said that Section 1 of the 14th Amendment means what it says. Anyone born in the United States is a United States citizen.
That's a law school dean there, Erwin Cherminsky. However, you brought up an interesting point. It's possible maybe you would try to reinterpret what the amendment says or what the Constitution says and go through the courts on that one, but that one will likely be challenged.
Right. I mean,
it already has been challenged.
Amending the Constitution is one thing, but with the executive order, can he just decide that, would the challenges ultimately make their way back to the U.S. Supreme Court, which could reverse precedent? Is the argument from the president that, no, what the amendment means is not anyone just born here is automatically a citizen? Is that the path, or is it actually to take some effort to amend the Constitution? I actually contend it's the former and not the latter.
The president issuing pardons for roughly 1,500 people imprisoned on January 6 related crimes, saying that it's time to, quote, release the hostages. More on hiring freezes, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's the TikTok ban, of course, as well.
Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it.
Yeah, so President Trump signing the executive order to give the social media platform a 75-day grace period from the ban that briefly took effect on Sunday.
If I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
Yeah, so he's wondering if maybe there's a way to cut some type of deal with the TikTok owners and get half the money. And then who does that go to? Well, he says, there's a lot of people that...
Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok.
Yeah, so anyway, there's that. But okay, well, what about the idea of security? There's been concerns about security with TikTok. That was the whole point of the law that's now in place. And he says...
And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that.
So those are some of the comments the president made while in the Oval Office signing these executive orders. One thing he didn't really jump on immediately yet was massive new trading partner and tariff things. Right now, I haven't checked the markets to see what they look like at the moment, but they have been up today. He did say that tariffs were going to happen and that he'd slap 25% tariffs, but no executive order signed as of Monday on that.
Well, because that goes to what we've been talking about for weeks, as he's been threatening to do this. Do you plan to do it? Or is it right now the threat of doing it in order to move the needle in some of these negotiations for things that you actually want? And it seems to be more the latter in that case. We will talk with ABC News technology reporter Mike Dabosky. He's going to join us live with a little bit more on TikTok and what it means, why it matters at all, and ultimately what happens in this 75-day window. That's coming up at about 8:40. Right now, 8:27 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Time's ticking on Heiser's Drive Into 2025 sales event. The clock is literally running out on remaining 2024 models. We're making room for new rides, which means huge savings just for you. Shop online or race them today and get a new vehicle for way less than expected. With low payments, special financing, and immediate delivery, you'll start 2025 in style without breaking the bank. But hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. Visit Heiser.com now for all of the details and get ready to roll into the new year with a celebratory deal.
See dealer for complete details.
Sun, 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 fun, 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 sun, sun, sun.
Boaters, this is your show, the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park. Over 300 boats, family runabouts, ski and surf boats, luxury pontoons, more Lake Michigan boats than ever. Tierra, Beneteau, Pursuit, Cruisers, Sea Ray, Boston Whaler, and more. Get that boat and get that deal. See Twiggy the water skiing squirrel the second weekend. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com, January 17th through 26th, closed Monday and Tuesday.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Get out and enjoy your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited puts cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Coming up on 8:30, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News, Tuesday, January 21st. Our top story, this miserable cold in southeast Wisconsin.
I'm Erik Bilstad. New use for a shuttered theater in Whitefish Bay.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We do have a little bit of a backup right now on Highway 145 south of Good Hope Road. So something to keep in mind there. Otherwise, the main line of the freeway is actually looking pretty good across the whole area. Just watch those broken down vehicles. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alert. The deep freeze reaching its deepest points here in southeast Wisconsin. Here's what we have for today. Sunshine and very cold temperatures. With a high of 3 degrees. As the words were coming out of my mouth, I'm like, yeah, very cold. Right now, wind chills at 25 below zero. We'll start to warm up overnight, warming to just 6 degrees if you'll have it. Scattered snow showers actually on Wednesday, up to an inch of accumulation possible. Wednesday's high 24, and that's going to feel amazing.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump's first major act of his second term, pardons for 1,500 people in connection with the January 6th riot. Asked about pardoning and commuting sentences for those who had attacked law enforcement, he told reporters,
Been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed.
He also signed executive orders declaring an emergency at the southern border and taking the U.S. out of the World Health Organization. Dangerous cold impacting tens of millions of people. Snow is falling in areas of the country not used to snow, like New Orleans and parts of Texas. More than 2,000 flights have been canceled today. Another day of dangerous fire conditions as winds pick up in Southern California. And the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas holds, but Israel's top generals resigned, citing failures related to the October 7th attack. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a 19-year-old man from Menasha is still in custody. Police say he admitted to starting a fire at Congressman Glenn Grothman's Fond du Lac office building early Sunday morning. Initial reports suggested he might have done it because he was angry about the TikTok ban. Grothman telling NBC 26 in Green Bay the suspect had no prior contact with his office.
I think when somebody does something like this, they are the type of person looking for attention. And I think this person, if it wasn't the TikTok issue that caused him to light fire in my office, he would have found some other issue.
In 2022, Congressman Grothman, among other Republican lawmakers, asking Governor Tony Evers at the time to ban the app's use on government devices in Wisconsin. Police have not yet named the suspect, nor have formal charges been issued.
Improving basketball skills with a little help from the Milwaukee Bucks.
That was the goal for 60 participants with Wisconsin's Special Olympics Monday night at the Freighter and Medical College of Wisconsin Sports Science Center. Special Olympics player Bobby Kuski tells WTMJ what he likes about playing basketball.
Dribbling, shooting, and just the teamwork and friendship, I'd say, are the best things.
Former Bucks player Fred Roberts was there as well to give athletes a few pointers on how to improve their skills and to have fun.
Even as an adult, if I can go shoot a couple of shots on a professional court, that's a thrill.
Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
New life coming to Whitefish Bay's Fox Bay Cinema. Milwaukee Business Journal reporting a $7.5 million project called The Argo is planned for the space, which has been vacant since the COVID-19 pandemic. Plans for the new venue and entertainment hall would include a hall and event venue along with a restaurant and bar. The proposed venue would also provide $1 from every ticket sale to local arts and wellness programs.
News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The bell has rung. Right now, the Dow is starting the day up 205, the NASDAQ up 95, and the S&P is up 33. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the residential and commercial electrical experts at Best Electric. It's bestelect.com.
Connect with Best Electric for panel upgrades, electrical vehicle charging installation, and residential electric service calls. Visit bestelect.com today.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
8:36 on Wisconsin's Morning News. I found another headline to back up what you were talking about.
Aha, okay.
Okay. This is from Bleacher Report. Jets, quote, goal is to keep Aaron Glenn from leaving the building and become head coach.
Yes.
I was teasing Eric because he was saying, so this is the Lions defensive coordinator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lions have lost their offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson now is signed with the Bears to be their head coach.
Yeah, that's
right?
going to happen today, the reports indicate.
And I think good for the Packers because you want to collapse there over in Detroit of some kind, right? Their defensive coordinator is interviewing for the Jets job in New York. Now, what's great about that is, one, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley also interviewed for that job or was said to be doing that late last week.
Right.
I like Haf. I want him to stay. So if somebody else gets the job, that's good. The other thing is then that hurts the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric was – who was it that reported
Ian
that?
Rappaport with NFL Network.
Oh, yes.
He said that the goal is to keep Aaron Glenn from leaving the building. Okay. So they're going to tie him down, lock the doors, and not let him go.
Pancake said before they're going to doctor's office him. Somebody will be right out. Just wait here for a second. Every time he gets close to, he's waiting for his Uber to pick him up. And like, why don't you just stand inside real quick? You don't want to stand out here. It's
been
cold.
About 40 minutes. No,
we call it. It's on his way. Jan in the Toyota Camry. She should be here any minute. Yeah.
So how do they block the doors? Just with a giant pile of money? Is that how you keep him from leaving?
All this could be yours if you promise not to leave. I like the idea of it. No, it should be around any. Don't you guys have a car? Somebody picked me up at the airport. Where was that car?
It's been really cold.
Yeah, it's really nothing we can do for you, Coach. Come back inside here. Would you like a coffee? 8:38 on Wisconsin's Morning News. All right, let's get us through the morning drive here, Deb. How we doing?
We're actually looking pretty good. No more delays around the area. Just a few broken down vehicles left over. On 794 westbound, there's some debris right at the ramp from Lincoln Memorial Drive. So heads up with that. They may have to close off some lanes to try and clear this up, but I can't see what exactly it is. Go figure. So just be careful around that area and everywhere for that matter. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizan, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our costs from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
8:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. TikTok is back, but in what form and for how long?
Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it.
As he promised, President Donald Trump, just hours after his inauguration, signing a proclamation, including one about TikTok, where the president says he'll give it 75 days. TikTok can divest of its Chinese ownership or be shut down once again. Joined live now by ABC News technology reporter Mike Dabosky. All right, Mike, what happens in these 75 days here? How active do you think the president is in any of these potential negotiations?
Well, he certainly wants to be very active in them. Donald Trump has floated this idea that TikTok could be saved via a sale through what he calls a joint venture between the current owners and or the new owners, whereby the U.S. gets a 50% ownership. So Donald Trump seems to be floating this idea that the United States federal government would in some way own TikTok, at least in part. That is pretty unprecedented. We haven't seen the federal government own a social media app, not the least of which a formerly Chinese-owned social media app, scrolling video, really ever before. So it raises a lot of questions among legal experts over whether this is even possible, whether this is something that could happen down the line. Ultimately, Donald Trump does want TikTok to be sold. So that's what this order is aimed at doing, giving ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, 75 extra days in order to find a buyer. Whether the federal government is a part of that deal or not remains to be seen. For what it's worth, though, Republican Senators Tom Cotton and Pete Ricketts both say that Trump has no legal basis to extend this legislation from taking effect, to extend the TikTok ban from taking effect. So even before any discussion of a buyer is had, I think we're going to start having a discussion over whether this is allowed in the first place.
You know what's interesting, Mike, is I've got a couple of Gen Z kids who are deeply invested in the outcome of this here.
Yeah.
And I've been watching them through this process. One of the things my older daughter is telling me right now would suggest to me if the federal government is in any way involved in ownership of this app, they're not going to trust it. They already believe, and I don't know if I can verify this, but my daughter believes that her feed is different since the shutdown. The suspicion among the TikTok folks is, no, they had to shut it down to change the algorithm. I'm not seeing the stuff I was seeing before.
It doesn't look the same.
They're against us.
Interesting. Yeah, obviously we can't confirm whether the algorithm changed or not. That is something that, TikTok itself really only knows. But you're absolutely right to identify that sentiment among the almost 170 million TikTok users in the United States. I think that's also what's in part motivating this move over to an app called RedNote. Many TikTok users have landed on this other social media app. It's kind of very similar to TikTok. It's a scrolling feed of vertical videos. And it is also a Chinese app, right? It originates in China and brings with it many of the same concerns lawmakers have raised about TikTok. And I talked last week to many TikTok users who were making that jump over to RedNote saying, yeah, we're kind of doing this spitefully, right? If the federal government is going to take away this app that I really like, well, hey, I'm going to jump over to this other kind of sketchy Chinese app just to make their lives a little bit harder, just to kind of poke them in the eye a little bit. That seems to be motivating at least some of the move over there. Of course, other people might have different takes on the situation. Of course, many influencers just need a place to exist on the internet in order to make a living. So that, I think, is part of it as well.
Mike, before we let you go, we've seen social media sites get purchased before. Why is this so difficult to purchase?
Well, I mean, a lot of it comes back to China's influence, right? The Chinese government has said that any sale of TikTok that includes TikTok's algorithm is a no-go. They're not going to allow that to happen. So any buyer that comes by, whether it be the U.S. federal government or Elon Musk or Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank or Mr. Beast from YouTube, will essentially be left with an app with no core, right? There will be no thing that serves people content. So they will have to make their own or buy another algorithm and slap it in there. But yeah, that is essentially what makes TikTok TikTok, is the algorithm. And without that, I think there are some real big questions about exactly what TikTok's future is going to be without it.
ABC News tech reporter Mike Dubosky. Thanks, Mike.
Of course, guys. Take care.
You know, the lead to your question was what we talked about with Congressman Brian Stile.
Correct. He read my mind. Yeah, so yesterday when we talked to Stile about what he thought was going to happen to TikTok, he made a very interesting point. The congressman said, well, it appears that China would rather have the data than the money. So what does that tell you? If
Right.
the company,
they haven't sold yet. This has been going for months. They had an opportunity to sell potentially for billions. You heard President Trump say $1 trillion perhaps for a sale of this app. Why didn't they take the trillion? And Congressman Stiles' point was because they'd rather be mining your data, and that should be very telling.
That's more valuable.
You know, Dubosky was talking about everybody moving over to Red Note. And again, my 18 and 20-year-old are deeply invested in this and following, you know, not just for their own outcome, but also following what's happening in the TikTok community. One of the most popular things floating around right now is Americans going to Red Note be like, and then the video is the Boston Tea Party. And they're going over, and all the tea is going over, and they're likening themselves. Hey, don't boss me. We're going to do just like Mike said, not only because we want to have a place for our content, but also to stick it to what we think is an overreach of the federal government. We're going to do something you hate even more. How you like us now? I'm not saying you got to like it. I'm just telling you that's where they are right now.
Right. Well, it only takes one or two influencers to help push that over, too.
Here's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Everyone get on board.
Right.
And there's going to be that. I think ultimately there's just too much money at stake that somehow, some way, it survives.
Which, again, so what does that mean to the law that's already in place? And what does that mean? Who's buying that? Is the federal government actually going to run a site? That seems a little
Absolutely
odd.
not. And that won't work. That will fail. Just based on what I'm hearing right now is going on in there and their attitudes towards everything that's happening. If you tell the TikTok community that actually the federal government kind of owns part of this, out, they'll find another way. 8:47 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Debbie, one more time before 9 o'clock.
Alrighty then. It's actually a clear ride as far as any kind of delays are concerned. Still left over a couple of broken down vehicles here and there, but they're all out of traffic, not affecting the ride that much at all. So we are looking okay. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Steve Scafidi is your guide through the world of politics.
Joining us now on the phone line is the governor of the great state of Wisconsin, Tony Evers.
On the Political Power Hour.
You signed an executive order this morning creating a Wisconsin Office of Violence Prevention. Walk us through that.
We'll be working with all sorts of people across the state. It's an opportunity to bring people together on these important issues. People are tired of the violence. They're tired of gun violence in particular. We just can't stand for that anymore.
Weekday mornings from 9 to 10 on WTMJ.
I think we're getting our new couch today. Vince Vitrano here for Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattresses. Yeah, my wife and I had just the best experience shopping for living room furniture. Spent not nearly as much time as I thought we were going to have to because we had the expert advice from the great staff there at Built Right to walk us through every step of the process, listen to us first. They looked at pictures of our living room, and Sarah walked us through everything. She's like, okay, well, this is what I kind of see for this. We should be over here. Could have gone to a million stores, could have sat on a whole bunch of couches, but we got exactly what we needed with that great experience at Built Right. You can give your home a refresh in the new year. They've extended the New Year's sale and $1 million clearance sell-off that is still on right now. Third and fourth generation family members, they're the folks you work with right there in the store, and they've got thousands of items in stock. Or if you custom order like we did, you can still get it at a low sale price. USA made, small scale, Ohio Amish made, and real solid wood furniture. Built Right voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right. It's just off of I-894 on the south side, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry, and you should tune in to Spanning the State this week from 1 to 3 p.m. for your chance to win 2 tickets to experience the legendary music of Pink Floyd live in concert with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. This unforgettable show is happening at the Riverside Theater on February 7th. Tickets are on sale now at papstheatergroup.com. You don't want to miss Pink Floyd's legendary music like you've never heard it before, with a full rock band and orchestra. Be sure to tune in to Spanning the State this week for your chance to win.
I'm Dr. Jasmine Zapata, Chief Medical Officer for Community Health at the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Every year in the U.S., about 21,000 lung cancer deaths are caused by radon, an odorless, tasteless, and colorless gas. 1 in 10 Wisconsin homes has high levels of radon. Does yours? Call 1-888-LOW-RADON or visit lowradon.org to learn more. Test, fix, save a life.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Controversy over a likely Oscar contender. So the Academy Award nominations come out in a couple of days, Vince. But concern now over AI's use in the movie The Brutalist.
Welcome to America.
The Brutalist director Brady Corbett and star Adrian Brody are under fire after the film's editor revealed they used AI to enhance Brody's accent in one scene.
There was a war on, and yet many of the sides of my projects had survived.
Corbett insists Brody's performance and his co-star Felicity Jones were completely their own. The editor, who is Hungarian, explained to Red Shark News it's one of the most difficult languages to learn to pronounce, and thanks to AI, not even locals will spot any difference in the movie. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
So according to and by the way, Brody, the actor, won a Golden Globe, and the movie, Brutalist, won a Golden Globe, too, for Best Drama. So the editor said they tweaked Brody's and another actress's Hungarian dialogue to make it sound more authentic, and they used AI to do it. So now that has some saying, well, okay, but if you do that, can you still win an award?
Yeah, asterisks for sure.
Right? When you think? I mean, AI's use or using any type of computer in a movie, I mean, well, that's been going on since forever. So that's not the issue, really.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
The question is whether or not he should be up for an Oscar if he gets nominated here in a couple of days.
Voice and accent and being able to mimic the sound of a foreign language or, whatever, that kind of goes to the core to me of the performance, right?
Wouldn't you think?
It's one thing to have, special effects exploded around this person. How can you be, okay, well, that's sort of outside of, I guess you interact with the special effects or feel that, but, it doesn't alter you as the person, as the performer. This is actually taking that performance and changing it.
Right. Which, again, is okay for anything movie. It's whether or not they should win Oscars.
Yes.
So Natalie Portman was in, I think it was called, she was in a ballerina movie.
Black Swan.
Black Swan, thank you. And in that movie, there's a lot of dancing and a lot of different things like that. And I remember at the time, there was a ballerina who was fired up about it saying, hey, why is she getting this award? I did half the dances, if not all the dances in there. And that's part of the movie. Again, different situation. It's apples and oranges. But that idea of like, okay, that's not really all of you doing all of that stuff.
Okay, what about stunt double then? That's the same thing as a stunt double, right? Having a real dancer do the dance.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, 1 3-second scene of a guy flying through the air and someone else dancing on stage in multiple scenes. I don't know. It seems a little weird. Does he thank them then during the Golden Globe speech? I didn't hear Brody talk. Did he say, thank you to the AI guys for helping me out, making me sound more authentic?
And who's the guy who outed this again?
It was just the editor.
And why was he popping off on it?
You know what? I don't even necessarily think he was popping off.
Somebody just asked him?
In an interview with the video tech publication Red Shark News, the editor, David Jankuso, said the filmmakers used AI tools from Ukrainian specialists to tweak Brody and Felicity Jones's Hungarian dialogue in the film to make it sound more authentic. And then that
so
AI
I guess somebody asked and he answered.
Said, "Oh yeah, we did this thing. It was pretty neat."
He wasn't trying to out anybody.
I don't get that impression.
I wonder if he had any idea what he was. What he was unleashing.
What if
there?
you were asked? You were the perfect look for a movie. Okay. They said, okay, Vitrano, this guy, we've never heard of him.
Is entirely plausible.
This will be perfect. This guy will be perfect for this movie, but he can't really speak Hungarian. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just AI that. And then all of a sudden, overnight sensation, Vince Vitrano, nominated for awards. Could you argue that that's not
Is it
fair?
Milli Vanilli?
Boy, that seems like a stretch to call it Milli Vanilli, but I mean, it's you're walking down that road.
You're sidling on up to the line, aren't you? A little bit.
You're cozying
on
up.
Cozying up. And again, I think you and I are on the same page here. Make your art however you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
All I care is the guy sitting in the theater is, am I enjoying this? And if it's great, then I don't care. It's about the accolades that come after.
It is unfortunate, though. It's so funny in that line. This editor goes, "Oh yeah, it's so authentic that like no one would even notice." Then why'd you do it? What's the point then?
Right.
Like me, the casual viewer of a movie, would I have been like, "Oh no, that doesn't sound quite Hungarian."
Not Hungarian enough.
Well.
Life is cold, the world is cold, people is cold, people's hearts, minds, souls, and thoughts are cold.
Yeah, WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating.
Not wrong.
Your comfort is their family's tradition. Let's get you through today, then we'll be in much better shape. A lot of sunshine today, but it's not going to warm us up much. Best we can do for you is 3 degrees, although Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky seems skeptical that we hit that. And he's thinking closer to 1, maybe a 2.
Right. But expects us back in school tomorrow.
Right. NIS predicting school is on tomorrow, as overnight we'll start warming to 6 degrees with our air temperature, and tomorrow's high up to 24. It's going to feel amazing. WTMJ Political Power Hour with Steve Scafidi is up next.
My name is Freeze. Learn it well.
Let's take the car and save the fare. We blew it.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Rich Lawns. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including